What is up? What is up, everybody? We did it. It's the fucking end of the year, baby. Let's see, how are we sounding? How are we looking? A little bit quiet, it looks like, but we'll see if that needs too much adjusting here. We'll set it like that. But hello, everybody. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's Eve, I suppose. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, good. Love the feedback. Thanks, chat. We're trying something a little bit new here today, actually. So typically, I do the like face cam with my phone, and it works pretty good. But this time I have the top down cam is actually usually this guy right here, which is like a GH5 with a nice lens on it. But I guess confession time here. I'm running a fairly decent camera, but I'm running it through like a $20 Amazon video card, so yeah, it looks like crap. So I was kind of figuring that the top down would be a little bit nicer, because I wanted to start this off because like last time I wanted to do a stream, I actually screwed up, and I got really in my head about some stupid stuff, and I forgot to do the stream. But we're gonna start this baby off with a minor tutorial slash bug presentation. And so two things. The first thing is that this might be a little bit wiggly waggly because it's on like a C stand, which if you're not familiar, it's on a funny stand. It's a little wiggly. But yeah, anyways, long story short, let's take a look at some fun stuff that I found out about Elektron stuff that's not in the manual. What's new? Sorry, I was like mildly unprepared here for this part. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so have you heard of the auto channel on Elektron devices? Because I hadn't. I always see it in the MIDI thing, and I'm always like, what is that? What is the auto channel? And baby, I've now found out what the auto channel is, and I feel the need to share. So let's just go, and we're just gonna set this up from scratch here, baby. So MIDI in from the hatbacks here, bada bing, bada boom. All right, now, boop boop. Typically, you would go and you would set up, a MIDI channel here, and hi Mako, how's it going? And then you would play those notes. Let's go to a pattern that's not filled with sounds. Right, and so that's how you would chromatically play track 1. And if you wanted that to be track, 2, you just change to MIDI channel 2. Bada bing, bada boom, right? Hi Mako, how are you doing? I'm in the middle of something actually, so, what's up? Okay, go to bed. Take 5. Go to bed. Sorry. So something that's really interesting here that I've found out now is if you go down to MIDI configuration and you look at the channels here, you'll see that there is a FX control channel, channels for all the tracks, and you're probably not going to see this as well. This is the one thing about this bad boy, is that I don't have zoom on this camera, but you'll see there that there is an auto channel, and it's set to channel 14, right? This is incredibly powerful, I found out. So what the auto channel is supposed to do is or at least what I'm to understand it to do, Elektron doesn't really talk about it in the manual, which is really annoying. Like they don't fully explain it. They say like kind of what they intended it to do, but then they built extra functionality into it, it seems, that begs to be explored and essentially explained, I think, but anyways, so we're on this auto channel 14, which I'll answer your question in a sec, Brandon, which is also available on the Digitakt, and I don't have a digitone to check this on, but maybe somebody can do that. So here, check it out. We're on channel 14, and if we go down to the lowest octave of the keyboard, check. Oh wow, that's track 1, 2, 3. So this is interesting. The first essentially 12 notes of the bottom scale will allow you to trigger every channel on the Syntakt on one MIDI track. That can be whatever MIDI track you want. That's really cool. And then also this does this kind of interesting performance thing, is that whenever you select a track, so let's say I select track 6, it also lets you play that chromatically as if it was a normal channel, right? So you can go to track 1 and you can play those all chromatically. So that's really cool in my opinion, especially if you're using a MIDI controller to do something like, you know, I don't know, for instance, what are you doing, dude? Oh man, he got his bone and he's like, all right. Okay, anyways, so back to what I was thinking here for a sec. If you were to say, you know, be using the Hapax and set up like a drum, you know, channel thing, and you're like playing along with it on those, you set all of your drum tracks to the bottom octave there, and then let's maybe say you want to like riff on this track a little bit and be like, you know, like you just select it, and then you're like, oh well, actually now maybe I want to be on this track 7. You know, you can do that. It's really cool, I think, and I kind of had to like trial and error discover this, and that's what I got for you. A quick little auto channel tip. And now I've got one more tip, and then we're gonna whine and complain and look at the year, because that's what I'm all about. And I got free coffee from Stewart's, so I'm all jacked up. So one more thing, the sound browser on the Syntakt. These are my two things that I've been experimenting with, because I've really been trying to like integrate, like how can I make the Hapax and the Syntakt completely be integrated. But anyways, Brandon, to answer your question, would I recommend the Digitakt 1 for those clean 500 buckaroos? Yeah. I think I said this the last time I was on stream too, is like I think that the Digitakt 1 is probably the best bang for your buck drum machine right now that you can get, because I've seen them be going for $450. You can buy one right now on Perfect Circuit's website, and Perfect Circuit will, like, you know, I don't think it's not like a full warranty, but it's like it's a reputable store. I worked for them. I'll back them up. You can buy a used one on Perfect Circuit right now for $500, and if there's any doubt in your mind that it's absolutely perfectly working, you know, after like a week or two, I don't know what their return policy is on used stuff, but they're really easy to work with. You go back to them. More and more, I am not liking reverb. That's a whole other story, but you know, what can you do? Anyways, I'm gonna put that over there. So sound browser. You know that if you go in the sound browser, you hold function and you hold this, you spin this knob here. I'm actually on the sound pool. Something that I found is really cool. Go to the I've been looking for something to do with these modifiers, right? Here, I'm gonna have to move my silly little, okay, there we go. All right, so if you are going through the sound browser and you want to sample these tracks, go to the velocity mod, because then you can just scroll through them and, you know, find what you want, and then you're like, oh, okay. All right, that sounds pretty good. And then you go to the track you want. You just click on it and then hit yes. It's a lot better, in my opinion, than like going to the track and then like being like, you know, dinking around and being like, oh, I'm gonna hold function yes, and because then you're gonna like maybe hit yes and not hold function. You're like, oh shit. Or maybe that's just me, because that happens to me constantly. Hi, Mako. How are you? He's back in the picture. Hey, how are you doing? I'm still doing something. Do you have anything to say to the internet? Okay. All right. Go to bed. Go to bed. I know. I'm screaming at a screen. He thinks I'm going crazy. Okay, the other thing about the sound browser that I found out, because the last time I was on stream, I believe I was sitting here and I was like, yo, where are all the sounds on the Syntakt? Like I was like, where are all the sounds? And I realized something, that if you hit bank when you're in the sound browser and you click on like A, it locks you to bank A. And you'll see here that when I scroll all the way down the list, here, I'll take the thing off for you guys. I'll make a real video about this, but I need to explain some of my things here. You'll see that when you get all the way down to the list, it's like, it feels like the end, because you're at the end of the A bank. But if you go and click off that bank, it's actually like, oh, there's 1,000 more presets. And in my opinion, this is terrible implementation, that like it would constrain you to just the bank. I think that the bank should jump to the bank, but it shouldn't like just constrain you to only C. That's insane in my opinion. Also, last thing, gotta get it off my chest. The sound pool on the Syntakt is horribly broken. On this project, I'm having a glitch where I can't load any analog presets from the sound pool. I can load them from the plus drive. I've tried to repeat this bug. So maybe if somebody else out there is having this bug, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It will essentially garble your sound pool presets between digital and analog. It'll like not allow them to seemingly like load on the appropriate track. And it also does this funny thing where it gives everything you put in the sound pool. This happens across the board. Everything you put in the sound pool, it assigns the kick trigger to, and sometimes it overwrites the trigger or tags, excuse me. And sometimes it overwrites the existing tags, which is really annoying, in my opinion. Anyways, we're gonna have a little bit of background music here. I'm gonna really just hope and pray that this doesn't get content ID'd. I've been trying to find like good, just groovy loops for the background, but everything keeps getting content ID'd. But this is a song called "Sick Day" by an artist named Patricia, whose real name is Max Ravitz. It's very confusing. You could be like, hey, you ever listen to Patricia? But that's his artist name. I don't think this song is like released on shit, but it came out like 10 years ago and it's a jam. So please don't content ID me. Anyways, that's my plug for Max. He's one of the best artists out there, and I think he works for Moog now. So that's what I got. Anyways, I'm gonna move myself back over here, and we're gonna take a look at the winners and the losers. Oh, don't call the cops on me, please. I was experimenting with like background music, and I was like, what can I use? And like somebody gave me this like bootleg, it's like a bootleg recording off a soundboard of an Aphex Twin show from like like 2018 or something, like Day for Night or something. And I was like, there's no way that this will get content ID'd. And then some weird fucking company from like Belgium hit me like immediately. They were like, oh, and it had like all of this stuff too. It was like Avex Twin 2018 Field Day live soundboard thing. And I was like, what? Anyways, doesn't matter. So winners and losers and the best of. I feel like the first thing we got to do here is start out with some undecided folks. All right. So first things first. Hold on, I just covered up my chat. So first things first. I think I'm not sure about these guys if they're winners or losers yet. So I might need some help throughout this is just funny to me throughout the stream here. So first of all, we got Internet Historian. He's like you know, I'm if you're not aware, he did a big plagiarism. Unfortunately, Mako, shh. Unfortunately, it seems like he never really apologized or, you know, really made right. And he kind of just kept on trying to do a big plagiarism. And that is a really big bummer to me because while his content can be incredibly childish at times, I'm going to say, and like silly and like 14-year-old edgelord shit, I do appreciate the way he puts together a video, and I like his story mode channel often. Anyways, so I'm undecided on Internet Historian. Is he a winner? Is he a loser? I guess he's just right in the middle for now. And then we got Mr. Beast. I don't know what I don't know what to, everybody told me Mr. Beast is evil, but I don't really know what the hell. I kind of am like, isn't a dude who makes people do weird stuff for money kind of just like evil, like by that metric? I mean, because that's what he does, right? I'm woefully uninformed. Like, I think he just like shows up and is like from what I've seen, what shows up on my YouTube shit is like two types of Mr. Beast videos where he's like, we made the world's biggest gumball, and you're like, okay, and then he's like, and then we blew it up, and you're like, all right, whatever, okay, that's fine. And then these other ones where he's like, stay in a bathtub for 5 days and win $1 million, and I'm like, I don't know, that sounds like weird torture. So I don't know. But then I also heard that everything that was said about him was fake, but I did read his PDF, and his PDF, did you see that the guy he paid to stay in a prison cell with the lights? See, that's what I'm talking about, is I heard some weird stuff like that. And I think there was like a video I watched like 15 minutes of that was like it was like Dog Pile or something. Anyways, I'm pretty sure Mr. Beast is evil, so we're gonna put him on the loser's side of things. I think we can pretty much for sure say that, because I'm now just remembering that I read that PDF that was like how to succeed at Mr. Beast or whatever, and he was like, nope, don't take no for an answer, and I think that's weird. Anyways, the Olympics. Was the Olympics fun this year? Did we like the Olympics? I mean, like, I feel like people were memeing the Olympics hella, and like I feel like, but like, did we like it? Did we have fun? Okay, I think we've all I think so we're solidly Mr. Beast evil. Mako. Oh great. They're in play mode. This is wonderful. Hi. You guys. You could have literally done this at any point all day. Okay. The only Olympics that I saw was some tennis, but those matches were really good. Now see, here's my thing. Yeah, it's like, I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, we did. I see, that was the one thing I saw. I saw the guy jumping over the pole, you know, and then the gun guy I do like Gun Guy. I think the Gun Guy was like, I wish he was more of a main character. Like I remember there was like, you know, see, but that's the thing is like I can't decide with the Olympics. Is like I think that there are like individual winners of the Olympics, but I think overall the Olympics are kind of like, yeah, I think Brandon said it right. It's like the Olympics are kind of like whatever. So I'm gonna put the Olympics on like kind of losers. I'm gonna put it more on this side. We'll zoom out in a second here. They had Gojira, like Godzilla or the band Gojira. Either way, it's pretty cool. Biden. I mean, obviously, by definition, like, did he lose? I guess they had the band Gojira in the opening. I didn't see that. It had skateboarding and BMX. That was cool. But it also had that, I remember that Australian breakdancer lady, which was also kind of funny. So yeah, I think where I sit on the Olympics is we're gonna put like a little. We'll do this. We'll say the Olympics. Kinda. Oh, what happened? Kinda loser, but you know, the friends we made along the way are winners. So that's my take on the Olympics. Bam. All right, now we got. Oh wait, yeah. Biden up here. Now, see, here's my thing: is like he didn't really lose. Like he didn't really, you know. I mean, like, I think he lost definitely, but you know, I think we gotta just say Biden loser. You know, he's just a loser, man. I'm sorry, dude. He lost, but like at the same time, he's also kind of a winner because now he doesn't have to be president for 4 years, which I'm not gonna, like, that sounds not fun. But also we don't have to have him president, but we got disaster. Anyways, we're not gonna talk about that fucking poop fire right now. What we will talk about though is Hawk Tuah girl, which I had to find out it's Haley Welch. I know now that is her name. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna learn her name. It's Haley Welch. And because I was like, I can't just call her Hawk Tuah girl. And part of me is like, part of me wants to say that she's kind of a winner because I think that she made like a 5-second comment about like spitting on schlong, and she spun that into an enormous career. Like that, like we can't deny she has been like the main character of the year. You know, we've just all been living in Hawk Tuah girls, like, you know, she's the main character here. Now, the thing that is interesting though is that she just did some crypto scan, I guess. Which I gotta say, it's 2024. Why are you doing a crypto scam? Or like, both, why are you doing a crypto scam and why are you falling for a crypto scam? Like, this is something I haven't looked too hard for the answer, but it really baffles me that like in 2024 there were like enough people that were like, yes, I'm in on the Hawk Tuah cryptocurrency, and I think that this is a good idea, and like to get robbed. I don't know, Hawk Tuah girl, I don't know. So I'm undecided on her. Undecided on Hawk Tuah girl. Now, okay, also Eric Adams, we gotta put him in loser section, but I just wanted to do it. I think I just wanted to do it. He's so funny. I didn't know who he was. I did not know who Eric Adams was until I moved to New York, and let me tell you, I'm glad I know who he is now. Because he's a funny guy. He's a bad mayor. Now I think I'm not sure about this one too. This one's really weird for me. So do you guys know what this is? This is Luce is her name. And you're not gonna believe this, but Luce was unveiled by Archbishop blah 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 blah, the official mascot of the 2025 Catholic Jubilee. And so this is also designed by the people who made Tokidoki. And it's so fucking weird to me, because this is essentially like the Catholic Vatican being like, here's our mascot for 2025. It's this anime girl designed by the Tokidoki people. Very, very interesting. Anyways, yeah, it even says it was compared to Buddy Christ, which I think is hilarious. But at the same time, Luce kind of cute. I kind of like little raincoat girl. You know, just as like, it's a cute character. Is the Archbishop an interesting person? I feel like that's a really kick-ass title. I feel like if I was ever in a religion, I would want to be like the Archbishop, or like the Archduke. That's a thing, right? I feel like Luce Tamagotchi. Oh man, that would be hilarious. Her head is kind of shaped like a Tamagotchi, so I feel like that would work. I'm not sure I could read that, Alan, but anyways, okay, so now I think we're gonna have to zoom out a little bit here, kind of reveal this thing. So let's start with winners, because I do want to, like, let's stay positive. So let's think about the winners here, the winners of 2024, starting off with pop girlies who are not Taylor Swift. These are like the music industry for Wes highlights. I feel like we got a lot of great new pop girlies this year. Well, not, I mean, like Charlie XCX, Sabrina Carpenter are not like necessarily new, but I feel like they pop girlies were in season 2024, putting out a lot of great music, really dominating, and I love to see it. Who is the top pop girly? I don't know. I just don't know. I can't say for sure. I think Charlie XCX is probably just where I would lean towards, because it's funny to me. Anyways, that's so we got top pop girlies. I also like to say that. Kendrick Lamar, rap the hell out of Drake. That was pretty great. I think that I've seen a lot of takes on, like, you know, oh, who won or who did this or that or the other thing. And all I'm going to say is Kendrick Lamar got the fucking Super Bowl and Drake didn't. So, like, yeah, that's all I got to say. So he's the winner there for me. And next up, I'm gonna have to just go to their website. Is Kitty on Fire Records? Because I think that these gosh darn people have been putting out some really great music, really supporting some fun scenes, and also this Gollum album was probably one of my most listened to albums this year and last year. Let's go and take a look at their music right now. I'm not sure if this is like all the time, but all of the music right now, you can get their digital albums for $0. There's a lot of like great fucking like breakcore, hyper pop, like grungy, just gross stuff. I don't want to play it because it'll immediately get content ID'd, but this Fentanyl album was incredibly wonderful this year. Big fan of this. I didn't even know Optic Core was on here. I didn't know that Optic Core was on their label. This album was incredibly inspirational. So yeah, I continue to learn. There are 8 pages of music, and a lot of it is free, and a lot of it is looking great. Gore shit, Lil Kevo 303. Anyways, this is the label that's doing all that. I think they're pretty cool. You can check them out and confirm or deny that they are winners, but I think they're winners this year. They got a digital zine up that you can, download. They just toured all around. I think that these folks are doing really cool work, and they keep on bringing up artists that, like, I know whenever they sign an artist, I'm like, oh, cool. I bet I'll go check out their stuff and I will like them. And I feel like there are less and less reliable sources of that sort of consistency in wacky, weird online music these days. So Kitty on Fire Records, definitely winners in my book. Go check out their stuff, support their artists. Okay, other stuff, other winners. I definitely have some gear winners here, but I just wanna like definitely like point out some other, some big trends I think we saw this year. Old gear is back, baby. I think with everything getting so goddamn expensive, here, I'm putting this over here, this TX60 whatever, 802, with everything getting so goddamn expensive, I think that old gear is really gonna come back in a much more, and like I'm talking like old crummy gear that like I feel like these old somebody put in my Discord that like the TX81 I think was like one of their favorite things this year, and I was like, yeah, actually, like that thing is full of presets that all sound great. It's a lot of older gear has got amazing stats that are like specs that you wouldn't expect. Multi-timbrality, aftertouch has existed since like 1985, you guys. So like there's just a lot of, I think there's a lot of good shit to be mined from the late 80s and early 90s, and yeah, old gear I think is winning this year. I just put this here as like a placeholder for just Teenage Engineering. I think Teenage Engineering won this year in terms of like gear stuff, putting out a medieval ass sampler and then the OPXY, which they did essentially just kind of like shadow drop the OPXY. So that's pretty sick. I think they were kind of winners. Also Bastel, big winners in my book. Crust, Neo Trinity, Castle Effects, where is it? Time Plus. I think they had a very solid year. They are, of course, my very good friends, but I love to see them succeed, and I think they had a great year with some really good offerings. Arturia as well. Now, okay, I gotta pull this thing up because I've been saying this for many long time, and it is that somebody needs to make a affordable ADAT interface. And oh god damn it, Arturia has just done this so elegantly. So what this is the Audio Fuse 8-in here, right? I think they make one with preamps on it too, right? No, I was wrong about that. So what this is essentially, you can go ADAT out, or in from your audio interface. So if you have ADAT capabilities on your interface, it's essentially a free an extra 8 channels most of the time. Sometimes they only do like 2 or 4. I think that I think there's some weird limitations on some of the smaller ones. But anyways, like the Mo2 Ultralight is it has like 20 inputs capable, but 8 of them are locked up in ADAT, and I think like 4 are locked up in SPDIF, so you can't really use all of those things. Anyways, ADAT kind of fell out of fashion, in my opinion. Yeah, Behringer always had cheap ADAT stuff, but Behringer's ADAT shit sucked. I used it, and terrible. It did, the word clock was bad, so it was bad sync, and I had really terrible sample rate issues, where it would not stay consistent. This was in 2015, 16, and it was an older Behringer thing. I don't even remember what the hell it was called, but I just remember it was so instantly terrible that I was like, geez. Anyways, Arturia made this thing. This is awesome because there's this, that's essentially $350. Get it on sale. Arturia will put it on sale. Anyways, and then you got eight extra outputs, or inputs, excuse me. Or if you want to do the outputs, they made an output one too. And yeah, anyways, this is just something really stupid and silly that I got mega excited about, and I was like, oh yeah, that's amazing. Finally ADAT's making a comeback. Because I think there's only a few things that use SPDIF. There's only a few things that use ADAT. I think we should bring some of these optical and coaxial formats back. Anyways. Zero watched a video about the EP 133 and jumped out the shower to order that thing. Yeah, and I've heard that the cocoa scented pads are so cocoa scented and delicious. Hello, Mr. Spike. How are you doing? I don't know if you guys can here, look. We got a Spike. I got a Spike. The Spike, he's gonna try to knock over my coffee. And he's in front of my computer. Cool. All right, you gonna sit down, Spike? All right. Anyways, moving right on along. Winners in the video game world this year. I think Nintendo was a pretty big winner this year because they didn't do anything. They just sold Switches. Just bam, 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 selling them Switches. And everybody was waiting for the Switch 2 to come out, and they were just like, nah, man. Nah, forget you. Screw you. We're not gonna do it. I think that's pretty baller. I think that Nintendo's a winner this year. Also, Elden Ring. We finally got that DLC, baby. Oh man, I dumped so much time into some Elden Ring DLC this year, and it felt so wonderfully good. So Elden Ring, Miyazaki, winners. Alan, the Hapax is hands down one of my it's my gear of the year. I'm very comfortable saying that. The Hapax has been such a wonderful experience. It's making a lot of gear fun again too. Anyways, good. Where's my? I'm gonna put my silly window. Sorry, you guys. I just have to do that, or it'll drive me crazy. Anyways, other winners this year. I listen to podcasts constantly. Yo, yes, that Lil B is always a winner. I think we have to acknowledge. I was kind of just going through stuff, and I was kind of hating on Timothy Chalamet. that guy. But anyways, he was like, I was knighted by Lil B, and I was like, man, you might be kind of a tryhard, and you might be kind of like a dangus, but if Lil B knighted you, then maybe you're not so bad. Anyways, Lil B, always a winner in my book. Anyways, I listen to podcasts constantly throughout the day because a lot of the time, as part of my office job, I'm like just sitting there doing like silly, tedious animations. And so it's nice to like listen to podcasts. This has been my favorite podcast of the year. 16th Minute of Fame, and I think it's these guys at Cool Zone Media. They've got like 3 podcasts on their network that I absolutely love. This one though has been a really big fan of it. They go and she goes and she like talks to like, you know, the 30 to 50 feral hogs guys. There's a lot of kind of like deep, like terminally online shit, you know, like the hide your kids, hide your wife people. Anyways, she goes and she talks to like a lot of these people and does like a really good dissection of like what makes like a viral, you know, main character. And I'm big fan of it. Anyways, Cool Zone Media, Behind the Bastards, Weird Little Guys. These have been some of my all-time favorite podcasts this year. I've spent a lot of time with them. The parasocial relationship, very high with the Cool Zone Media folks. And yeah, they're great. A big fan of them. So they're winners in my book. The one thing that they do that drives me crazy, I have to talk about this. So, and like, okay, tell me if you've gotten this ad in your podcast world, right? So, look, I got to talk to you guys. This is one-on-one, you and me. It's this fucking podcast ad that comes on, and it's this guy who sounds like he's made out of AI, and he's like an AI voice or something, and he's like, you wake up in the morning and you put on your Meta Ray-Ban glasses, and it's like, oh my god, and it's like this really terrible voice. I'm sorry if I'm being mean to a real person, but it sounds like an AI voice, and he's like, and you realize that you need coffee bad. So you ask your AI assistant, like, hey, Meta, how do I make a latte? And I'm just like, nobody in the entire planet who, like, is like, oh, man, I'm a coffee drinker. How do I make a latte? Nobody does that. Also, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Who the fuck makes a latte at their house? Like, who's got the espresso machine? Who's steaming the milk? Like, this is way too much. I do pour over coffee, and sometimes I feel like that's kind of a lot. Anyways, and then it goes on this entire, like completely unhinged, unrealistic, like, idea of, like, what you might do. Okay, Yotasics. Yoda SSX. That's what I'm just gonna imagine you're like Yoda and you're on SSX. Okay. Look, I could be wrong. This is why I might be wrong. They're making lattes. You're just a better person than me, okay? Because I can't even fathom, like, I don't have this. But see, here's the thing: is have you ever like woken up in the morning and been completely like, oh my god, how do I make a latte? I need an AI to tell me. Like, I'm pretty sure that you bought the stuff to make a latte knowing how to do it, as like, or like maybe, you know, I don't know. That to me is like a step too far. I'm like, cause anyways, here, wait, let me see if I can find this AI commercial. Oh, Spike, you're right in front. Oh, what am I doing? I have this thing. Because it's so tremendously bad. Okay, so it's a Ray-Ban Meta AI commercial. Wake up. Latte. my God, if it's featuring James Blake, I'm gonna feel so bad. Okay, wait. Slide the what? What? Get out of here, YouTube. Oh, this is TikTok. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't think that that's the thing. Skip the hay meadow. Damn it. I'm not gonna be able to find this. I feel like someone has to like check me on this, because I like every time I hear this commercial, I'm like sent into a rage, and I'm like, no one fucking lives like this. No, okay. I'm just, you know what I can do is I can literally open Spotify. I'm probably gonna like reveal myself here. I speak nicely to Siri. I was like, okay, like here's the thing is like I be Syrian all the time. I'm like, hey Siri, make a reminder. Hey Siri, set a timer. I love Siri. And like I think that Siri is a great utility, honestly. I was bummed that they kind of like abandoned it, and I'm excited that they are bringing that they're bringing more features to Siri, even if they're weird AI ones, whatever. But like I try to say thank you to Siri. I try to say like, oh, thank you Siri, like, okay, cool, have a nice one Siri. Anyways, let's see if it's like the first thing on this, because it's always the very first. Oh no, it's okay. I'm not gonna do this. I'll find it later. Did I just activate someone's thing? I'm so sorry. The Chumba Casino ads are absolutely wild too.
They earn 6%.
Oh man, okay. I'll have to find this at some other time, but I am kind of like, oh, somebody has to listen to this so they can check me and tell me that I'm being irrational. Like how does Spotify on a browser work? Okay. Let's see if it does it for this one. Nope, it's Chumba Casino. Fucking Chumba Casino, dude. Like Chumba Casino ads, I'm actually fine with. Fucking this Meta AI ad. Oh, it drives me crazy. Anyways, I was Cool Zone Media Podcast winners in my book. And let me just make that and put it right there. Okay. Now, YouTuber shoutouts. These are probably the YouTubers I enjoyed most this year. And I did realize after putting this list together that it's just a bunch of dudes. And look, I'm sorry. I listen to a lot of podcasts hosted by women, but apparently I'm just drawn to dudes who play video games online, so or on YouTube. Grimbeard is my all-time top 100% favorite YouTuber. He does like old sort of like adventure game synopsis, video game stuff. It says it right there, Goth Gamer Nation, baby. Go check out Grimbeard. He plays games that I always got as a kid in like the 90s and stuff, like these like adventure style games, you know, like a Return to Monkey Island and stuff like that like I could get maybe like an hour into, and then like it didn't make any sense to me because I'm like 9 years old trying to figure out like, you know, like Gabriel Knight crap, because my stepdad would bring it home from like Circuit City and he'd be like, here, look at this, the cover art's cool. And I'd be like, oh, the cover art is cool, what's going on? And then like, you know, anyways, so like as a kid I always had like a real hard stopping point, because like as a 9-year-old dude, I didn't figure any of that crap out, and the internet wasn't really there. So anyways, he does a lot of those games, like the Nancy Drew games, and like it's great stuff. He has a really refined sense of humor, and I feel like he blew up this year. I feel like he like almost doubled his sub count. So very happy for him. In that same vein, Dungeon Chill does a lot of like Japanese only games and older like PS1 games that I was always like, man, this is so tedious. Like I'm not gonna freaking play this, especially now that I'm like older and I probably would be able to enjoy them. There's a lot of these experiences that are just straight up far too time consuming. Like I'm currently going through Persona 3 and FES, which is a whole other thing, but because I kind of just wanted to go through Persona 3 again. I was feeling it. I'm going through it again. That game is a 90-hour game, and there's no way around. There's no way to like speed that up. Like you're in for 90 hours. You're going to play that game for 90 hours. And there are a lot of games that are those types of experiences. And to be 100% honest, I want to like experience them. I want to have a friend or somebody cool who's like parasocial, like tell me about it. And like, I don't honestly want to play it. I don't want to tell people I play. Anyways, so these two guys do a really great job of playing games that I just don't want to play, and then telling me about them in such a beautifully parasocial way. As long as we're on gamers over here, these two guys, Jacob Geller, also does really, really cool deep dives of... I mean, I suppose he doesn't really need my plug. He's got like a 1.3 million. I didn't know how many subs he has now. Jesus Christ. I feel like the last time I checked in on him, he was like 200 or something. Anyways, he does a really good job. Stair Quest. Oh, Caves of Cud, by the way. Yo, I heard that got like a graphical update recently where it's not just like numbers on a screen, essentially. Yeah, that's Caves of Cud is another one that like I love to watch people play, because when they know what they're doing, they're like, and you're like, oh yeah, you're so into it, dude. You're doing so good. There's something satisfying about that one. Resource management, I always love. And Champutee, this guy got his arm cut off somehow in some horrible accident, and he's been talking about video games on the internet from the lens of a guy who is missing one of his arms. And I think I like his style of presenting. He's a young kid. I think that if my arm got cut off, I would just be so upset. And he does a really good job of not just whining. Magic Mush, go check him out if you want some game stuff, some other weird crap. And then Captain Disillusion does a lot of like effects breakdowns that I really like, and kind of like shows a lot of like behind the scenes SFX stuff. Another one who like now has like a wildly large follower count, but I've found that since I've kind of started delving into like videography and like motion design YouTube, that there are a shitload of those people on YouTube. Everybody, all the videography, I mean, it's YouTube. That's where they go. Anyways, boop 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 boop. Okay, let's look at gear of the year, and then we'll actually wait before we do gear of the year. Let's look at some losers. Okay, losers. Also, quickly here, you guys, just briefly, before we look at losers, I gotta make myself small again. Don't clip that. All right. Okay, and Brandon, parasocial is that's my word of 2024, because I think it I think it is a really good way to describe people's relationships with online figures and people's relationships with the internet in general. Is like a lot. I mean, I not to be too weird, but like even like you and I right now are having like kind of a one-way conversation where like I'm just talking at you. And so like, you can interpret that, relationship in any way. I'm not going to start defining parasocial, but it's interesting, I think. And I don't think that it's all necessarily bad. I think it's like anything in life. It's a limit of moderation. Like I think that if you're, you have fun watching somebody on the internet, as long as you don't attach too much to their personality and you don't attach too much. And I think that we have seen this very much in the last few years, that it is very dangerous to put too much of anything on one person. Yeah, I think it can be good. I think it can be fun. And I think that when the internet is functioning at its best, a lot of people are harmoniously being heard. Like a lot of people are talking and being heard. And I think when it's at its worst is when everybody's just whining and bitching and moaning. Anyways, losers. Linkin Park, dude. What? I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like, at first I was like, oh, Linkin Park is what? They're new? No, it's bad. It's like not good. Like I could get behind it if like, but it's bad. So Linkin Park, losers, dog, losers. The Boy Scouts of America are now just the Scouts of America, Scouting America. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's time to just pack it up. I think Scouts, we're done. We're done scouting. No more scouting. The video game industry in general, I'm just gonna say, like at large, big video game. If you guys, if you weren't, I can't get like super duper deep into this. The screenshot's right there, but there was a ton of really talented people who got their jobs just destroyed. Studios, really cool studios closed all over the place that have made some of my favorite experiences. You want to talk about parasocial relationships? Like there are a lot of video games that I would say like that I can link to, experiences in my life that like a smell or a food or something like that. And it's interesting to have just labeled Linkin Park a loser. But like if you were to put on Linkin Park Meteora and pop Pikmin 1 into a GameCube and like just like blast those two things at me, I would just be like, it's 2004. And like I would just I could tell you the texture of the fucking carpet in my childhood basement as I experienced those two things. I can tell you, like, stay in a place. Anyways, video games, I think video games are this is probably one of the things I am very passionate about, the experience of outside of like music gear. It's probably one of those big things. I think it's one of the most progressive, beautiful forms of art. And I think that now, especially that like the barrier to making a video game is so low that we've seen some of the best experiences of all time come out, like Hollow Knight, Undertale, Deltarune by the same guy. There are amazing stories that you can interact with in a way that you never could before. Anyways, there have been huge layoffs, big companies dumping on creatives, cutting corners, and we've just been getting shitty fucking video games because of it. And people are getting burnt out. And so, I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that one. That's a real bummer. Arcane Austin, that Riot Forge. Real bummer there. Yeah, it really bums me out. I know several people who are now don't have jobs because of that. Anyways, also losers this year. Let's do brain rot first. I think brain rot is the new. It's really I be watching brain rot. And what is brain rot? I feel like we pop a definition on that as just like the schlop, the nasty dumb crap that like just exists to be consumed, like these crappy Netflix shows, these just dumb fucking TikToks, meaningless garbage. We really got a lot of brain rot in 2024. And I think it's all pretty loser shit. You know what's not brain rot though? Real quick here, I forgot look at this kitty. Look at this guy. Wow. Look at him. He's just such a cutie. He finally just settled down. It's being just adorable. Oh, Mr. Spike. This cat's a winner. 2024 winner, baby. Okay. Yes, absolutely correct. Cats, problem solvers. Wait, sorry guys, I forgot that we paused the music. Sorry. Okay. Also, I'll talk about Elektron in a little bit. Diddy, bro, big loser. Also, terrible, awful, heinous crimes. But he's busted, and he's a loser. So we got him. Loser. Okay, also, by the way, I'm just gonna pop this up here too. Boeing, big losers, yo. Stop making planes that are falling apart. It's a real bummer. We gotta not have that happen. All right. I'm really big fan of planes not falling apart, right? But you're a loser, so if you can't do that, then fine. All right. Elektron. Oh yeah, wait. Elektron's gonna be the last loser I talk about. All right, there's the fucking losers down there. Let me tell you. All right, Apple Vision Pro. Oh wait, did I not? Whoop. Sorry, I hit the wrong thing 4 times in a row. So, Boeing losers, guys. Planes falling apart. Bad time, right? Not a good time. Apple Vision Pro. Yo, what even happened to this thing? Did anybody care about this after like 5 minutes, after we all saw how dumb everybody looked on it and how horrible and silly it was? Bad, yo. The Apple Vision Pro, I saw one in real life and I was like instantly turned off. I was like, it's dumb. It's so dumb looking. Like I think VR stuff is cool, but like you're like that people were going out in the world with this thing and sitting out in the world with this fucking thing on their head. That was so dumb to me. I just like I think like I said, I think VR stuff is cool and maybe it will get there someday, but right now, if I see you out in the world with this thing, oh my gosh. Yeah. 6K Australian for a pro. Yeah, that which is the other thing too, is like this thing is like I think US it's like 3K, three and a half or something, and like it's not even as good as as like just a normal computer that is half the price. Like it can't do the stuff that a normal computer can do, so it's completely just a silly experience. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that everybody just got over this thing almost instantly, which is interesting, because I wonder if Apple will just completely drop it, because the one thing that I did think was that got me excited about it was, well, okay, if Apple's gonna do it, then like, you know, this might be like a real experience. Like you could not tell me that like touch screens were gonna take off the way they were until I saw like the iPhone and like felt that experience. Like I don't know, maybe that's dating me and I'm old and stuff, but like I remember some of the first phones that had like touch screen stuff on them and it was like garbage, it was crap. The iPhone came out and it was the multi-touch, everything, it was just like whoa, and then all of a sudden smartphones seemed a lot more realistic, usable, and then they feel like they proliferated and now here, look at us, we're watching me talk about stupid crap on iPhones. So anyways, also, yeah, I guess the what I'm trying to say here is historically Apple has, when they've like dedicated resources to something, they've usually kind of like shook up the market and kind of like, you know, done something new and interesting. Like who was wearing an Apple Watch or like a wearable watch thing? Like those were like nobody was doing that, and then Apple was like, hey, get yourself a watch. And I still like, look, no offense to anybody who's got an Apple Watch on, but like I don't think I'm not sold on the Apple Watch. Anyways, oh yeah, the wearables this year. We got a lot of, you know who else I should put on the winners list is like MKBHD. He's over here on the winners list. We'll just put him, because he had such a year of reviewing, and BHD, I think that's his name. Anyways, that guy, that reviewer who reviewed the rabbit thing, I think he's really good. I think he's like solid. Like he doesn't pull punches when he reviews stuff. I like him. And he reviewed that other like AI thing that was it's like, it was that one was cool. What was it that it beamed a laser on your hand? I thought it looked cool, but then like apparently it was like just dumb. What was it? It was like AI wearable with laser. Yeah, this thing. It was like, oh my god, it's $2,000. This thing, like it looked kind of cool, like what it did. Yeah, see, it would like beam a little laser onto your hand, which I'm like, and then it would like, when you do stuff, it would like, you know, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then that MKBHD dude, I remember he reviewed it and he was like, this shit sucks. Oh darn. Okay. Anyways, is that the dude who uploaded a video of him cruising the Tesla at 90 in a children's zone? I do think that he did do that. I think that he did that. I didn't hear about that, but that wasn't. I feel like somebody else said this to me. So probably not a good idea, buddy, to be driving your Tesla at 90 in a kid zone. But I can neither confirm nor deny that happened. So, let's see. Do I want to talk about why Elektron's a loser? Winner for tech-related stuff, loser for car-related stuff, says Finn. Yeah, I guess, you know. I think he's got like 8 other channels, and I think one of them is a car like just a car channel. And I think he has like a channel about, he's got like 12 different channels, but I watch his main channel videos when I see something that like I'm actually like, oh, like the AI stuff that, hi Spike, what are you doing? You're right in front of the computer now. Come here. Don't tip over my coffee, just come sit in my lap. I know you want to do it. All right. Which, speaking of which, I mean, good segue. AI. Yo, I gotta say that this year, AI, while it's done a lot, we've gotten a lot of, you know, advancements. AI's doing all this cool stuff, blah, 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 blah. I kind of feel like I'm in a mildly unique position where the job that I work in is like, they like, you know, they're kind of like, oh no, use AI. And to be honest, past jobs that I worked in were also kind of like, hey, we should, like, you know, look into using AI. And so I've seen people like kind of just trying to like implement these like off the shelf AI things, like the stuff from freaking Google and OpenAI and Microsoft's silly thing. And while everybody's so excited about it and everybody can't shut up about it, essentially my experience with AI has been that it's just a way for people to do things like really crappily. And so I don't want to out myself too much here, but essentially, let's say that I'm gonna say a hypothetical here that may or may not have certainly happened 100%, 99%. But let's say that you were maybe you're gonna make a video about a new product like this, you know, Nalgene bottle here that I've got, and you're like, yo, I'm gonna write a script, and I'm gonna, like, you know, envision what this like video that's about this product is gonna be, right? Well, that's what you would do. But now, because everybody's like, oh, let's use AI, people are like plugging prompts into an AI thing that's like, how should we make a great video about an Nalgene? Write a script and da 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 da, and then handing this off to me. Whereas like they would before, like actually, you know, do some work and like think about these things and like put together, you know. And now I'm just getting handed like AI slap, and they're like, do something with it, and it's a bummer, I guess I would say, because it just, yeah. All I'm gonna say is that a lot of AI implementation that I have seen has been like either kind of taking creativity out of the equation, or kind of like expecting creativity to come out of another place that like that like used to be more of a collaboration, I guess is what I'm saying. Is like I'm seeing a lot of AI being used to like lessen the workload of certain jobs and things like that, but then really the like the other foot must fall, you know what I mean? Like if you're using AI to like generate like X, Y, and Z, and then you're like handing those things off to somebody else to like, you know, blah 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 blah, like it's been really, really annoying for me. And it's also been hella annoying to like hear like all these random fucking people be like, oh, well, use ChatGPT to like write your cover letter, or like, you know, like update your resume. And like all of these people have like these like takes that they're just like, oh yeah, use ChatGPT. There's a lot of cool stuff it can do. I've used it to make scripts for After Effects. I've used it to like generate like little bits of code and things like that. And I think it's so cool, the possibilities of AI. It's the future. It's so cool. And you know what we're friggin' getting is like shitty generated images and videos that are like confusing my mom and like you know, so like yeah, like it's been immediately turned into this product. And so like I guess I'm just kind of bummed at the end of the day. Like I wish AI would have like, and it's not AI, it's technically like machine learning algorithm, blah, blah, blah. But I just wish it would have been cooler from like, you know, like I feel like this grew into a twisted thing, and I'm not excited about it anymore, is I guess where I'm at. I'm not excited at all. Like I don't want any more AI. I don't want to see any AI images. I don't want to read any AI crap. I don't want to hear these AI scripts advertising to me on my podcast. Yeah, sorry, I just looked up at the chat. Lowest common denominator fodder. That is it essentially. Sorry, I've just been ranting. Let me read the chat. Woofy. Cool with machine learning to accelerate basic tasks, but not much else. And see, that's where I completely agree. Things like doing like making code like from scratch, or like if you're not like me, like I have very basic knowledge of code and scripting, but like there's a lot of things in like After Effects and Photoshop like that are like design stuff, and I mean not even get into like user interface stuff. Anyways, I have like a very basic level of some of these things. AI is constantly being very good, like even just like, hey, does this look right? You know, and it's great for stuff like that. Kind of sounds like you want to make something good. In that scenario, you would need to do the legwork that they were supposed to do. Exactly. And that's the thing, is like in a corporate setting where people are just like checking boxes, especially like on like projects and stuff like this, like it's some of my first forays into the corporate world, I'll say, in 2023 and 2024, and I found out how it's like high school. Like legitimately, it's like, okay, we'll fill out these forms and like make these phone calls and like but anyways, yeah, and essentially sometimes the AI stuff is just like, oh, AI, do my homework, and then it's like anyways, people just trying to make money with it don't understand how important human intent is in the creative process, Woofy. And that's another huge thing too, is like I feel like we've all seen this like tweet or whatever it is that says like, you know, like, oh, I thought like we would create AI to do all the boring jobs so we could just sit around and make art, not create AI to make art so we could all sit around and have boring jobs. 100% true. Another thing AI is good for, Excel expressions and formulas. I will just say that because I'm not an Excel guy. Don't like spreadsheets. But you'd be like, hey, ChatGPT, how do I make all these numbers look nice on a spreadsheet? It'll tell you. And like, I think that's really cool and like dope and stuff. But I think it should be, I think what I want to see is AI as like a tool, an assistant, like you know, like it's a sidecar thing. And like I feel like so many people are just like, or like in like so many, there's this big push to like be like, no, like AI can do this stuff, and it's like I don't want it to. I don't care. Okay, wait, so this side note just down here, I'm just gonna say no, we're not gonna talk about that too much, but this is just something that I noticed when I was going over 2024 in general. That is a new rule that I'm making. Don't ever build a statue of yourself while you're still alive and like in charge of something. I think that's the biggest mistake you can make, because I think that no matter how cool or how big you make a statue of yourself, when people tear down the statue, it just looks so badass. And like I just want to tear down statues. Like I was looking over 2024 and I don't want to talk too much, but there's been a lot of geopolitical stuff happening. Lots of statues have been getting torn down this year, and I'm like realizing, I'm like, damn, dude, if that was a statue of me and I had just been like run out of like the town I live in, and all of my neighbors like collectively like tore down this statue of me and then cheered and then set it on fire and stuff, I'd be like, damn, dude, I really fucked up. Like, so yeah, that's just that's my take. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna whine about Elektron briefly. What if I make a statue where I'm wearing a shirt that says "I love being torn down"? I think there's a Reddit sub for that. I think that I think it's r/roast me. It's like that. What was the it was System of a Down? They made the album that looked like a burned copy of a disc that just said "Steal this album." I think I did steal it from Best Buy too. Yeah, I yo, straight up. Don't sure, whatever. This was like probably because it was in the version that I got was in a clear case, and it just the CD just looked like that, and I was like, that's a good way to do it. All right, baby. I got to whine just a little itty bit about Elektron. So where's the new stuff? Where's the new stuff? All we got this year was iterations. All right. I think somebody in my Discord said this, where they were like, it's just iterations and Mark IIs. And I think that's lame, dude. Like, especially considering that it's really it like I'm about to make this case that like Elektron hasn't shown us anything like really tangibly new since the Digitone one, in my opinion. And if you ask me, they are living on the prestige of their brand, and they're really keep on like coming back to this thing where they like say they're like, oh my, the sequencer, the Elektron sequencer, and I got a few takes about that. Bringing up the things that exactly what I'm saying is that unfortunately, although the Digitech 2 and Digitone 2 look like very fun and kick-ass cool devices, Elektron has shifted their production to a different facility. I'm remiss to say where, or because I've heard different things, but it is without a hey, what are you doing, dude? Quit biting my shit. Ooh. Just biting the castle over here. But like, I'm just gonna flat out say that their quality control has been crap. Go look at the forum. There are failing screens all over the place all year. This is not like a small issue or like a batch or something like that. I saw people in the forum were having failed screens like 2-3 weeks ago. There's also the weird gradient issue. Oh, sorry, hold on. I just had a the thing. Okay, so like the finish my thought about the screens is and the bugs in general is there are a ton of known bugs on the Digitone 2. Digitakt 2 doesn't have like a lot of basic features like the mono sampling. The time stretch on the Digitakt 2 is ass. It is so horribly bad compared to the Octatrack, which is fucking 15 years old, dude. The Octatrack is 15 years old at this point. And you're telling me they can't replicate that time stretching algorithm? Insane. And the thing is that the Elektron is like, yeah, it might seem like I be sitting here hating, but the fact of the matter is that I'm very passionate about these devices. I've spent a lot of time with them. And I just want them to do better, dude. The thing is that like, if all of these things were like problems that were happening and Elektron was like, and this is, I'll just roll right into my next issue here because I'm done being nice I'm not going to be whiny about Elektron after this. This is done. 2025, not whining. But I'm going to make myself heard before I stop. So if Elektron, if they had all of this bullshit going on, bugs and everything like that, and they had a good like way to reach out to their user base, which is fiercely loyal to them, and like, you know, if there was like any type of, you know, conversation going on there, which is like, you know, you can say that's like entitled or blah 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 blah, but it's not, because they literally have a forum where like that is the purpose, is to talk about their devices. And instead of interacting with their community, they've delegated a lot of the power of that forum to a handful of moderators, which I am just gonna flat out say are overly zealous and incredibly ban happy. And like, you can go on there's like 2 people in my Discord, and I've got more people. So for some reason, since I got banned, people now hit me up and they're like, hey, I got banned too. And people get banned on the forum for the stupidest crap. They'll be like, oh, I don't like that. And I will say, there are also people on the forum that I love, and I just look at their thing. I have like 3 accounts. You're never gonna catch me on there, buddy. The mods, sorry. I am thinking about my friend from Minneapolis who's all over that forum, and I don't want to like give a lot of these people away, because somebody else, I guess, stuck up for me on the forum, and they got like a week-long ban too. But I have a friend who's constantly getting flagged, and he has like 3 accounts too. And I remember we were like laughing about it. We were like, oh, they like constantly be banning us, but like we literally, like, it's just, you just need a new email, and you don't even need an email to read it. Anyways, they don't have a good way to like address a lot of these issues and concerns, and instead of addressing them, they give you these mods that are, honestly, go look at the mods reply history. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like look at it and be like, but read the mods, a lot of the mods reply history in like Severus Snape voice, and you'll start to be like, wow, these dudes are they're pretentious, and they don't seem to be very helpful. Like, they're oftentimes like, they're not actually good participants in the conversation. They just constantly are like Elektron brown nosers, and they're like, oh no, we got boo 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 boo. So yeah, those things bugged me, and I'm just gonna say it. One more thing before I'm done is also the fact that okay, wait, hold on, it's because I was reminded of this thing. I can't remember who said this, but there was like, it's a quote from like a very early internet thing that was like, any time that like like the power of a conversation is consolidated into the hands of like a several individuals, you're gonna it just becomes an echo chamber. Like as sooner or later, it just becomes an echo chamber to elevate the values and opinions of the people who have the power. And to be quite honest, that is how if you were to spend a lot of time on the Elektron forum digging through not just like the big posts that are like, oh, the new gear, the is Syntakt 2 on the way. If you were to start looking towards, you know, there are a lot of posts that only get like 5 replies, and they're like people talking about bugs, and they're people talking about issues that they're having, or like, hey, is there any way that I could achieve this? And sometimes somebody will pop in and be like, yeah, if you set your LFO to like these things, and you're like, oh my god, I need to try this. Which is the reason the forum is there, is not just to whine and complain about like friggin' Kendrick Lamar, which is another funny ass thing. But like, yeah, the mods have a bad rapport. They completely and totally just have turned that place into an echo chamber, and that is the only way to get into contact with Elektron and to report bugs or to like, you know, all of these things. And they don't make tutorials anymore. They don't, you know, when's the last time we got a solid video from them where they explain this stuff? I feel like they've gone off the deep end, and they're just living off their brand. They're living off the sequencer, and the sequencer's just not good enough anymore, you guys. It's just not, it's 2024. The Elektron sequencer hasn't meaningfully changed since the machine drum came out, okay, which was in 2004. Look at the Elektron sequencer, compare it to the very first Electribe sequencer, and you'll find that like it's not that crazy. They just did it nicely. Do their products still hold their value still? So is Tangible Realm asks, and that I think that anything holds the value that you assign to it. I will never get rid of my Digitakt 1. I would love to get a Digitone 2 someday, but it's been 2 months since they released that device, and every month I check back and I look at the bugs, and every day there are people reporting the same bugs, arpeggiator bugs, the strange things, and there are a bunch of people who are like, oh, I can't use this device because it just keeps glitching and stuff like that. So do their products hold value? Yeah. Oh, definitely. But I think I'm done buying new Elektron gear. Is where I'm at. I think I feel fine saying that. Like I think I'm done. And like, give me something new. Prove me wrong. I would love to see it, dude. I would love to have all of my words thrown back in my face. I would love to be shown that I would love all the bugs on the Syntakt to be fixed. I would love to see like sampling on there, polyphony. I'd love to see Digitakt 2 get ironed out and be absolutely amazing. I'd love to see the time stretching get better, get record trigs. I'd love to see all of these things happen. I'd love to see Elektron just come out and be like, hey, Wes, you fucking suck. You're like, you know, you're an ingrateful, like blah, 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 blah. I would love it, dude. I would love to get that like 2012 Elektron with Cenk and all those guys, you know, fun times. But look, it's just not there. So yeah, and that's kind of my thing is the other thing too, is like they don't make tutorials for these things, and their manuals are pretty, like they just copy paste a lot of their manual stuff. So like that's the thing, is like I feel compelled to like show how these things work in a way that like makes sense to me. That's what I always say is like the whole reason that I make silly videos is like, one, because I'm a dweeb and I like making silly videos. And I like sitting here and talking to you guys, and I don't have a lot of friends who are super into this stuff, so if I can just sit here and blab, it's fun, right? First and foremost, it's fun. As soon as it stops being fun, you will never see me again. But second off is I got a Digitech day one, and I could not figure out so many things about it. And I worked in a shop. I had a modular synth, and I couldn't figure out how this like little groove box worked, and it was filled with bugs. And so when I started making videos about like the M8 and then the Digitakt and all of these other things, all I wanted to do was make videos that felt like there was somebody there explaining this crap to me like a normal real person. You know, there are tons of tutorials out there that do a good job of doing this too. But like, I remember when I worked in these shops, and like sometimes I would get a chance to like tell somebody about a new module, or I get to like explain how, you know, the Octatrack worked to somebody, or I would get to like, you know, blab on about frequency shifters. And sometimes Foxtone Music is where I'm thinking of. It's a closed store now. It used to be in Minneapolis, but I worked there for a long time. And the guy bought Buchla, and then I was working for Buchla. Anyways, and then this happened a lot at Buchla too, is like sometimes people would just come up and they'd be like, oh dude, I'm gonna sell you this drum machine, here's how it works. And I get to be like, oh, tell me how, like, ooh. And I would have like some dude who comes in the shop, and they would just like tell me how like this new thing worked, and I'd be like, oh cool. And sometimes vice versa. Anyways, those are some of my favoriteest experiences of all time. Nerding out with somebody over some common ground, which happens to be these like music making devices. And I think it's so beautifully inspiring that like sometimes like I'll get people, it's like, I saw your tutorial and I made this music. Zero did this, where after the mate, sorry, I don't want to out you, Zero, but like after they saw one of my mate tutorials, they sent me some of the stuff that they made after they had like watched my tutorial, and I was like, this is so cool. And like, yeah, so like connecting over these devices I think is really, really cool and important. But like most importantly, I want to just like be a resource that I didn't have when I wanted to learn this stuff. If I can shave off 20 hours of like banging your head against a box that like you just get right into like making cool ass music, that's so meaningful and awesome to me, and like that makes all of this worth it. And so yeah, that's why I try to make tutorials as much as I can. It's been kind of a slow year for it. I'm just gonna come right out and say I'm very proud of the tutorial that I made for the Castle effects. It is essentially done. It is going to be well, it's not essentially done. It is done, baby. And it is going to be released most likely on Bastel's channel. So I'm really excited for that one to come out. But yeah, I love helping. And it bums me out that there's not more of a community of just like, I don't know. I can't finish that thought, maybe. Yeah, Bastel's a great example of this, actually. They make a lot of tutorials. They do video tutorials. Actually, let's just wait. There's a new Neo Trinity update, and I haven't seen this yet. And I know that Patrick Veltrusky did the demo for this one. And he is fucking insanely talented. So let's watch this ad. And then let's listen to Patrick. What a lamp, dude. That lamp is badass. Oh, this is like a whole patch. All right, well, we'll check it out a little bit. I love that lamp. There's a new, so yeah, the new Neo Trinity. Oh, is he talking into that thing? Oh, freaky. Yeah, they ironed out a bunch of the little things. Yeah, he's looking, he's answering my questions in real time. He's got some good stuff up there. Holy shit, he just brought that in like so good. My guy. Just out here fucking jamming. This is kind of wonky, kind of weird and kooky in a weird, kooky, wonky way. Let's skip way up here. Anyways, we'll pop right onto Bastel's page here, and this is what I'm talking about. Time Plus video manual. Oh, I didn't even know. Wait, what the heck?
Oh, this is what?
I completely missed this. Oh man, I feel like an asshole because I literally just emailed him his old video for the time, and I was like, hey man, do you have any tips? Oh man, I feel so bad. I missed that video. How did I miss that video? Anyways, look at this. They got video manuals up here with the creators telling you how they made this stuff, telling you the idea behind it. They've got, all of this stuff. It's all fun as hell. And I think they do a really good job of putting stuff out. Bastel, big winners in my book. They're good friends. And yeah, and if you ever end up, another thing that I think is so beautiful about Bastel is, watch the Cuckoo documentary. Honestly, it's very true to them. But like, another thing that is just really beautiful is they're so ingrained in their community. Like, I've been to Brno, I've visited them, and like, it's really hard to explain, I think, to an American like mind until you go to these smaller European. It really just does sound like I'm just like fucking glazing these small European towns, but like Bastel in particular, in Brno, like they're like dug in there, like they know all of the folks be coming in and out of their workshop. They'd be like having these jams. They're all like, people are biking all over the place. Never have I been in a place that felt so community. And like, they had a little coffee shop down the road. They are really doing it. And yeah, one of my all-time favoriteest people on the face of the planet. Where is he? The king of electro, John Dinger. We should just watch this here, because also, here.
Money on takeout.
Factory, get your fake food delivered to your house. This is John D. He's legitimately, you know what? Who's a winner of 2024? John D. And we're gonna expand on this more. We're gonna take a John D tour. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to midnight, you guys. Just yapping and blabbing and blah blah blah. But John D is 100% a winner. And like I said, he's one of my favorite human beings. He worked with me at that Foxtone music store. And then he moved to frickin' Brno to hang out with the Bastel boys. And he makes some amazing music. So we're gonna listen to this shit. We're gonna fucking give good old John D the stage for a moment. He's got that engine. He puts it to work, baby. The engine is a sequencer that I'm really sad I never got to try. Yo, Drip, what's going on? John D. Fucking. Dude, I love this man. Drip's releasing an album tonight for New Year's? Hold on. Drop it in the Discord, dude. Drop it in the Share Your Tunes. Okay, so we're gonna let this fucking just bang here, and then I'm gonna also show you that John D, he put out an album this year, and I'm so happy for him. Buddy, right here is this album that came out. This is by the John D, mathematician and astronomer, died, and yes, he is an occultist. He was one of the, and I believe that that's why they call him that, is because I believe he was from the region of Europe that is now the Czech Republic. Anyways, this is a straight bop here. This album, this video. Total inspiration. He's got a little M8 over here, but other than that, this is the peak, bro. I'm gonna glaze John hella here, dude. Like, this just sounds so good. Oh no, what happened? I got a YouTube error. What does it say? Oh no. Oh no, it says viewers will experience buffering. Oh no. What's going on? Sorry, I just got a big notification on my computer. Oh, nope, and now it says the stream quality is excellent again. Anyways, yeah. This jam, totally awesome. John D, an amazing and wonderful friend. Definitely a winner. Go check out this album. And I'll drop it in the chat. Maybe I won't. Nope, there we did. Pretty Boy Laurel. No, we didn't even talk about Silhouette yet. I haven't even gotten to the gear of the year. I've been over here being distracted and yelling about Elektron, being a booger. But yeah, let's take a look at this. Let's definitely get into gear of the year. Gear of the year here, and then we've got some videos to maybe take a look at too. And then this is a video that I put down here. These two. This is where I got a lot of my stuff from. And then also, I thought that this video was very, I don't know, maybe we'll watch it. Because it's how I'm feeling. Full disclosure, yo. Oh yeah. Silhouette, baby. We might get real nerdy about that. That might be how I stay up all night. Let me turn this up. Okay, so all right, let me make sure. Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so here's one thing I do need to say about this year in gear is that, you guys, all of this gear be looking the same. This is my one criticism for the gear of the year, is like, look at all of these boxes. You know, I'm not gonna glaze Bastel 100% here, because they did it too. And while they are a little bit more fun, I will say, you know, is this looks exactly to me like you know, I guess what I'm pointing out here is black boxes with knobs and buttons. Let's be cooler next year. Let's be more colorful and more, you know, adventurous. Let's bring back the freaky colored synthesizer groove boxes. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Gear of the year. I'm just gonna be a crazy person right now and say OPXY is the winner. Let's start at the winner. I think the OPXY is the Roland D2 for real. Or you know what was the original the Roland Gaia, which Roland Gaia is a sleeper synth. This thing, dude, I guess it's not as kooky as I remember it. But like, what was the other weird Roland one with the like weird? What was that weird Roland? It's like the V synth. Was it called V synth? Oh shit! With the silly little, like, oh no, this wasn't it, but it's got the thing. Like, what was the one with the? With that thing in the middle, it was like the whole synthesizer was like this weird target thing. Silly looking, but yeah, I guess that's the moral of my story here. Let's be a little bit more kooky, you know. I like a black box with knobs, and I like a black box with you know, colored pads, as evidenced by, you know, Hapax and my love for Elektron. But yeah, maybe let's do some different colors. Woofy says nerds love black base colors in general. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But something that I'm noticing now is that like I'm getting older and like it's harder to see these in the dark. But yeah, GR Mega. I've heard about this, but I've had zero experience with that thing, so we'll take a look at it. Let's take a look at it in a little bit. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Let's tier it out here. Whoa, hi there, Spike. There's only one Eurorack thing. Yeah, so let's just say gear of the year. I think the OPXY is really winning it. The more and more I look into the OPXY, the more I'm seeing like stuff that I feel like is really kind of like innovative and cool and pushing shit forward. And also stuff that I'm seeing is like Slurps has said, even like a lot of the like mechanical processes in there are like very, very intricate. It's that thing's got velocity sensitive clicky clack keys. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. OPXY, definitely gear of the year. Unfortunately, is probably too expensive for me. I probably will not actually ever own that thing. I would love to maybe like give it a like test run, you know, maybe like play with it for a month or something like that. But something else that I'm noticing about like me in particular is that when it comes to gear, I love being able to like touch something and like really like I would say that probably Time Plus is probably like the perfect sized like box for me. Like, and I mean, it's essentially here. Let's switch to the top down camera for a brief second. Oh, Patrick, you couldn't find any eggnog? Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have an eggnog in my fridge right now that I opened like 2 days ago. It was smelling kind of gross. I was thinking I was gonna drink it tonight, but then it was like, ugh. Talking about, if you missed out last time, we did Stewart's eggnog for the first time. But yeah, anyways, so here, let's actually take a look at some of these boxes in like comparison. This is a weird tangent too. It's my channel. I'll talk about the shit I want to talk about. Here, I've also got Can I lift this up? No, I've got my 404 over. This 404 is what the music is coming from. But here, and then let's bring in this is a Eurorex synth. These are all, see, like their footprint, they're fairly large. When I'm touching them, I'm touching them. You know what I mean? I love the knobs on the Hapax. I love the big buttons. Freaking in love. Very, very nice. You know, you see though how you kind of move across the device. You move across the device. Ergonomics, blah, 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 blah. You can use two hands at once to do a handful of different functions. You maybe have like 3 or 4 fingers on it, right? I like that. I like a box that I'm like touching. I will say that like things like the Castle effects, let's just put it right here. While this box is incredibly fun and great and everything, I think that one of my main like concerns with it is like these knobs, which are smaller, and the box itself. Like I feel like when I'm cranking on these smaller devices, like I feel a little bit less like this is gonna sound silly, but I feel a little bit less like the kinetic energy or like the vibe that I've got, like the physical groove that's going on in me, that I'm like, you know, twisting and knobbing and performing and so on and so forth. I feel like when I've got a smaller footprint type of thing, that interaction doesn't happen as fluidly for me. And like there are 100% there are instances like, you know, things like the castles, or, you know, a really interesting aspect or thing here is like the pocket operator, because you're interacting, it's like a handheld thing, which is really interesting because I do have a lot of like really good. So here, Volca sample, it suffers unfortunately from the exact same problems. This is a really great little box, and I've got like so many like fun and like cool jams out of it. But when I get down to like wanting to wail on these knobs, when I'm doing this, you know, like, and I'm like, it's like I feel like some of the energy, and you can say I'm crazy, and you can say that like, oh, Wes is a little out of pocket here. He's a little wild and talking about the kinetic energy and him channeling through to his, you know, electronic boxes. But hey, man, whatever. That's how I feel. And like seriously, it's just like a little thing. That's like a little thing for me. So going back to the reason we started talking about this, I do kind of think that while the OPXY is cool, I think it ergonomically works and is fine for like maybe like a cool, you know, little desktop groove box thing. I don't see it as like a very performative tool for my workflow or something that I could really like want to play live with. And I think that that's a big focus for me right now, is like I'm kind of got my eyes set on like I want to get back onto like live performance. And so like channeling everything through the Hapax has been really cool, because I've been like using the Volca sample I've just as like a sound module and wailing on the knobs on the Hapax, having so much fun drawing in automation, doing stuff like that. Anyways, it's a different experience. These different size boxes give you a different experience. Some people want bigger ones, smaller ones, all different shapes and sizes. You can clip that. Anyways, and I guess you know, moving on, we're going to continue to talk about size here. Does size matter? Torso S4 and the Digitone 2, I think, and the Mate Model 2. I think these are kind of like my second tier things that interested me gear of the year. I'm gonna put time up here just because cool, amazing, cool, and fun. I feel like these are all kind of like groove boxy types things. Alan, yeah, I do want to crank it like an instrument. I want to crank it. I want to crank that hog. Torso, I think we're gonna put down on like maybe like third tier, to be quite honest, because the firmware, lads, I was not aware of how bad it was, that there are literally buttons on this device that you push, like performance buttons, and a screen comes up that says coming soon, which is incredibly disappointing, because I heard that this device had some firmware issues, and I recently just taken kind of like another look at it, and I found out two unfortunate things that are: A, it is essentially like a Raspberry Pi compute unit in like a little box, which is kind of uninspired on the hardware side of things, but it's also not like incredibly crazy expensive, and I think it gives an interesting take on a sampler that I'm interested in. And it looks like a lot like the Elektron experience. So, but without the sequencer, which might be nice because now I've got an even more badass sequencer. So, anyways, the Mate Model 2, incredibly just happy for Tim, Dirty Wave. I feel like the Mate Model 1 was a complete and mature and finished product, but I'm really glad that, like, sometimes these in-ear monitors, it's like I get like a weird itch. It just drives me crazy. Anyways, I feel like the Mate Model 2, like, to me kind of feels like really where he like I think he must be so satisfied. I really hope he's very satisfied with that product. It feels finished. The Mate is so incredibly powerful. A very very amazing set of features. I love the Mate. Unfortunately, mine is still for sale. But literally, if another 2 weeks go by and nobody buys my Mate, I'm gonna unlist it, and that'll be that. Because I'll have just paid off all the things that I'm trying to pay off, which is whatever. But anyways, Mate, excellent gear of the year. Digitone 2, we're gonna put this in kind of the in-between tier 2, because bugs baby, and I keep on seeing people saying, hey, I got a bunk Digitakt 2. What? Sorry, hold on, I think this camera moved. I got a bunk Digitakt 2. The screen's broken. Oh, I've been seeing a lot of people having issues with the outputs, where like you turn it all the way down and they're still hearing it in the headphones and stuff like that. Anyways, that's a bummer. That stinks. So maybe, you know what, we should move up to tier 2 here. Let's just firmly put these guys in 3. The P6. This guy looks really cool to me. Even though I just said, you know, oh, look at these small devices. This looks intriguing. It's a fun little sampler. You know, I do like fun little samplers. So yeah, intriguing gear of the year. Then we got these two boys, the Polyend synth. Did anybody hop on the Polyend synth? I feel like the Polyend synth came out and like a lot of people were like, oh wow, cool, and then like I never saw it again. And then Ableton Move, which I was pretty impressed. I'm not gonna lie, like I was impressed that Ableton kind of like pulled this one out of nowhere, even though it's sort of leaked. I think that the thing that people fundamentally misunderstand about the Move is that I don't think the Move is made for people who are already like I don't think the Move is not a product for Ableton users. I think that the Move is a product for like beginners, like people entering this space. And with that in mind, I think that it's incredibly cool. It's you know, portable device that it's got a little speaker on it. It's, you know, I think it's cool. I saw a lot of people hating on the Move, but also something that I think I pointed this out in one of my last videos too. Ableton has kind of done like a prognosis where they've like taken a look at you know, they've described and talked about some of the reasoning behind the decisions they made with Move, and I think that's pretty cool. And so now Moog Labyrinth, this is another one that, like, just like the synth, this came out this year, but like, what, did anybody talk about the Labyrinth? Did I just miss that? Did anybody get this thing? It sounds cool. I saw the I just bit my tongue. I saw the Andrew Wang video. Wong I keep on saying Wang. Andrew Wong video, and it looks really, really cool. Like if I was like sitting here looking for a semi-modular, and like I was like looking at everything on the market today, I would want to try the Labyrinth. It would be very close to the top of my list. And yeah, I feel like nobody talked about it. Also, we got a new mini Korg this year, which is like reality check. The mini Korg is on more records than every Elektron device ever. I'll stand by that statement. The mini Korg is probably one of the best selling synthesizers of all time. Like, and we got a brand new one this year, and it's like $500 again, and it's just like, wait, what? The mini Korg is another is a fantastic value synth. I think every 16-year-old should be given a mini Korg and told to make a freaky album. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be fun. If I ruled the world, everybody would get a mini Korg at age 16 and be told to make a freaky album. So now let's talk about the Silhouette. Oh baby, new Mannequins module, guys. If you don't know how to make chords, that's okay, because we're talking about modular synthesis, and motherfuckers don't be making chords in modular synthesis. All right, so where to even start here? Oh my god, dude, I just watched an ad.
It's called Xbox,
And I know you guys are like, get in there, Blanca. No. So we're gonna listen to this in a second here, but like first, okay. He didn't post the thing. Let's take a look. Mannequins, whimsical raps. Oh, damn it. Damn it. So many pop-ups. Whimsical raps. Dude, stop asking me stupid questions. All right, so here's the thing. We're going to take a look at this. And we're going to take a look at some of the interesting things on the user manual that I was like, hey, wow, this is very cool looking. Okay, so, and, let's take a look at this. This is the module we're talking about. Very, very exciting module. And you're like, oh, what the fuck is it? So it's what I'm to understand. And the thing about these Mannequins and Whimsical Raps modules is something that I've noticed is that your understanding of them, of what you see it does on paper, and like what it actually ends up doing and how it behaves, are kind of different, interesting, and it's so beautiful. I think that they're one of the most dynamically creative companies out there doing cool stuff. Anyways, let's take a look at Silhouette here. So I'm to understand essentially that this is a mixer. These are the inputs right here. Boop, 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 boop. And you've got an all input there. And I believe, I'm not 100% certain, but I believe that these inputs kind of place your signal in the spectrum here. This is a mixer now, right? But something that's interesting about this mixer is that you're seeing a bunch of inputs here, but there's not there's not really a level. Where's your level control, right? We've got these interesting blur, lens, and focus, right? And we've got this big knob spot here. So my understanding, and we'll watch the video. Well, let's take a watch for the video. 6 inputs in a ring. Is that, see this little window down here? Is that, so my understanding is imagine the six inputs as like pillars, right? And like this mixer scans across these pillars. Think of like a bandpass filter sort of thing, right? And so you're kind of controlling the base and width of the filter, and that is increasing the volume or focusing where you are in the space, essentially, right? So let's kind of just like, you know, watch this in practice. Headphones on, everybody. So they're putting in, and by the way, if you're not familiar, this is Just Friends, and in this mode, as it is right now with intonation all the way to the left, this is generating essentially 6 unique tones out of these outputs here, right? So he's just plugging them all into these inputs and then scanning through them, right? And you can kind of see this represented by this little light here. And then see where he gets to the top, the signal is very, very small. Bend a little. You see how it's moving? So that is very, very cool. This is very, very cool. So what this can do is if you're familiar, I think what this is kind of inspired by is a modular module called the quad blah 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 interface. This is, by the way, this is me. This is the type of shit I get so excited and dumb about. So you're on this journey with me. So this functionality is really cool. And I think that like sort of where its inspiration comes from is this guy right down here, the 227 system interface. I believe this is the one, right? Oh my God, Buchla, your website is garbage. In terms of, okay, I don't want to wait for this. Buchla 227 system interface. Yeah, whatever. Okay, just show me an image here. So this module has this unique, fun thing here called spatial dynamics. And this is a quad interface. And so what you can do is this guy right down here will spin your signal around for you around these quad outputs here. And it's very cool. This mixer absolutely slaps. But anyways, back to Silhouette here. That is kind of what this functionality is doing. Very exciting because that behaviors goes all the way up to audio rate.
The sun is free.
Oh shit, the sun is free, you guys. God damn. All right. And of course you can, you know, modulate that, which I'm going to already plant this little seed of like, hey, wow, this could be really, really cool. What if you were patching these in a feedback manner, or what if these outputs were going into like some sort of, you know, I can't even go, but like imagine the possibilities for intense feedback or strange FM modulation, or essentially like sequential switch style duties. And we're going to keep going because this is so exciting. Incredibly patch programmable module. See how that one gives it a little bit of, that gives it almost like a transient. And it's all mono, baby. Let's hear it. And now something that I think is interesting that we will notice here is that he's patching into the light and shadow inputs and outputs right now. I keep saying he. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. So that's interesting. We're not even hearing this straight up left-right output. And they say shadows appear, which are kind of like, we're hearing a delay, right? So this is not only a mixer, it's also a patch programmable effect, baby. Yeah! I fucking love this shit, dude. Right? So this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. When modulation shapes change, so our notes sequence follow. So like, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I don't really know what he means here, but I think it's just kind of like a little bit of. I think what's happening here is like a little bit of the feedback is playing a little bit somehow with the rest of the functions, which would be incredibly on brand for mannequins and whimsical raps. A lot of the times their modules are very patch programmable, and a lot of the times there's an organic sort of relationship between multiple settings and inputs kind of influencing each other, which is very, very cool. Anyways, this might not be the most exciting sounding demo, but like functionally, we're just taking a look at what this module does. Little LFO flanges into metallic zones. Listen to that. Feedback as a sound source selectable by spot. See, it's creating a little bit of that. Good sounds. Very, very into this. Very, very super duper excited, right? So let's continue to take a look at a few more things that are happening here. So this is the manual. They do a really good job of making these manuals. Something that I thought was interesting is like, I read this first paragraph to my partner, and she said, you know what that is that's how people describe high-end perfumes. And I was like, oh, I think that makes a lot of sense in my opinion. Jesus Christ, my ear is just itchy. So anyways, ins and outs, 6 DC coupled inputs in a ring corresponding to a 2D plane. Now, see, that's the part that I'm like, okay, cool. So I think it's like spatial, but then it says no order, no end, just vectors dancing in space, which is like, okay, well, is that poetic embellishment, or is there really no order? I guess we won't know until we play with it. These inputs are combined into 2 output pairs. Foreground presents the light and shadow of your focal point. The background, left and right, moves with stereo rotation, capturing all elements outside of foreground's purview, rearranging them in binaural space. This is a little bit confusing in my opinion, because the manuals are a little bit confusing because they are so poetically well written. That's just kind of comes with the territory. But mix/split combines the foreground into the background, presenting a single stereo combination. When in mix, the foreground outputs are still available for general use. So what I'm to understand is this little split mix thing here goes, is mix is going to give you the light and shadow out of the left, right. And otherwise, light and shadow, I do believe, are going to be your sort of BBD, like the effect, right? I think Laurel's coming in with some, I think by no order, no end, they mean that spot knob is kind of like an endless encoder. Oh, that, yeah, I think you're right. Where you can just turn it in one direction forever and never hit a limit. Ah, okay, that would make a lot of sense too, because isn't another one of their, don't they have another, it's not Cold Mac, I think Cold Mac has an end, but don't they have another module like that? Either way, that would make a lot of sense, because you can just keep spinning it. Okay, see, a little more observant. So that's really cool. We're just gonna keep reading this manual just a little bit more. So sorry. So that's the ins and outs, right? And so I'm also kind of thinking is that left and right is going to give you this stereo field, essentially, kind of like as the stereo field, and that moving around it will kind of like swirl on the left and right. I am kind of curious to see if like the mix mode, if like in split mode, if it does have kind of like a quad functionality. Because it's like, it's definitely, there are 4 outputs, but like, can you use it in that like quad spatial sense? I'm not totally sure. Anyways, spot perpetual potentiometer. Yep. Laurel, I think you're absolutely spot on here, because it's perpetual potentiometer pointing spot throws a spotlight in the directed input jacks. When no CV jack is present at spot, an internal modulator is pushed and bent by the tenverter. So that's the spinning that we got, right? Focus pushes and pulls the shadow output in time, a bucket brigade delay, right? Together with light and analog delay dry wet duality signal. So essentially the focus is kind of like this interesting BBD that they've made, right? And then we might need to let him kind of explain blur and stuff, because I think that I'm not totally clear on how this works, but it sounds cool. So let's continue. Let's continue. Also, I do want to just briefly say that, like, I think that like mannequins and whimsical raps and like Monome and sort of I feel like this is like, it's like a brand of modular that is like, it's like one of my coworkers is like super into fish. And like, I feel like this is not like, it's not like fish style modular, but it's like this community inside of modular that's just like so into like this particular thing. And to be quite honest, what this particular thing is incredibly patch programmable modules that have a ton of like organic overlap. And then also they all have this guy in the middle here, I2C connectivity with the Monome stuff. And it is so powerful. I was just talking to one of my old coworkers about this, actually. It's just like this flavor that, like, if you're into it, you get so into it. And like, sometimes you're just like, I know people who are just like, it's not that cool. And like, yeah, anyways, so let's take a look. We've got the foreground, background, blending. Mix adds foreground into the background, right? So I think that actually I'm just let's let him cook, right? It's kind of like a bit crushed sort of. I know in the manual they say that they're trying to like have like a 12-bit sort of feel to the lens and blur effects, I think, or lens. You can see how this little light panel here is both showing you sort of like the white light and the expand emphasizes the difference. These are the different modes in this atmosphere, which I believe these kind of control the effects, this switch. Very cool sounding. So yeah, I wasn't really expecting to just like blab and get totally into this, but like, so this is a bokeh style like reverb, right? And I think that what do they say up here? So right, so analog meets digital. Specular motion requires some digital smarts. Entire signal path from the inputs to outputs remains purely analog. Delay is provided by the bucket brigade delay. Blur is, however, digital and strives to capture the glittery beauty of vintage 12-bit samplers. All mixing is performed in the analog domain under digital supervision. Multiple stages of compression. Anyways, this to me, and then we look into some of the signal transformations here, right? There's a little bit of compression going on. There's a little bit of what you call it, sequential switching. Whole lot of effect stuff. What is a magnetic attractor? What is it doing? I don't know. Anyways. This is really cool. The reason if I'm being if I'm being 100% honest, the reason that my M8 is still listed right now is because I would really love to try this module out. I think that one of the modules that I most am sad that I passed along was my Just Friends. Just Friends was and is probably one of my all-time favorite modules. It's just so much fun. It is the best envelope, it is the best oscillator, and it's a really fun function generator, and it's incredibly batch programmable. And that's what I got to say about that. Now, that Silhouette, it's a new module. It just released the 30th. I'm super duper excited to see it out in the wild. And yeah, okay, let's see here. Did I get to all of the winners and losers of this year? Did I do it? Mostly. Okay. I want to take a look at some other people's winners and losers, and then I do want to watch. I haven't watched the Octatrack episode of Bad Gear, so I kind of want to watch that. And then I also kind of want to watch this Sarah Bell Reed video, because if I'm being honest, guys, I've been having, I'm not doing super great lately, like emotionally or like mentally. And like, I feel like I'm kind of feeling a little creatively lost. And also we've got Andrew's Gear of the Year. And yeah, so maybe let's react to Andrew's Gear of the Year first, and then we'll take a look at some of this other stuff. I took a look at.
I can't imagine
Oh
what
my
it
God,
would be
it's
like
Jean-Luc
to have
Picard.
to suddenly leave my home.
Okay. Hold on just a moment though, everybody, because I'm gonna need to get a refreshment. So let's just go on a pause here. Oh god, I think the music just fucking broke. Okay, Andrew, one of the foremost YouTubers of our time.
Hey, it's Andrew Huang. I am super fortunate to be able to try out a lot of different music gear. It's one of the most fun and inspiring parts of what I do. So I thought I'd start doing a yearly roundup video of what were the standouts for me, or
What were
if
they,
it doesn't
Andrew?
go well, kind of its own subset.
So yada yada yada. You
Circuit
are going to talk about
you
groove
are
boxes.
Some of my favorite groove boxes ever. And I also got to give an honorable mention to the Digitone 2.
Only got
which
an honorable
is
mention.
so phenomenal. And just the fact that it is not even included in my top 3, I think tells you about the level of quality we got this year. So in the 3rd place spot, I'm putting Ableton's Move. Ableton did something interesting with Move, which is to embrace it as a sketch pad. You only get 4 tracks, and you're kind of not meant to be able to finish full tracks on it. Maybe you could finish a simple beat, but it really shines because it's so immediate and fun. There's barely any learning curve, especially if you're already an Ableton user. And then it's also so seamless to transfer what you've created to Ableton's DAW. It happens wirelessly and super fast, and your project's just ready to go. This is my main pain point with any.
This is the thing. Maybe he's gonna show it. I've never seen somebody open up the project though.
Box, which is that I prefer to finish my tracks in a DAW, and usually that entails some kind of manual stemming process.
He does
Some other features to
damn
highlight.
good job
There's
of
a
demoing
built-in
stuff.
mic and line input for sampling. You can also resample. You can do that lazy chop workflow where you just hit pads while the sample's playing to assign your slices. It also has the capture feature. So if you're playing around but not recording and end up doing something
I think
good,
that's really cool.
you can just hit capture and it's all right there. And you can even start tracks with capture where you just play your first part in, hit capture, and then it'll automatically detect the BPM and set
That's
your
really cool.
points.
I didn't even know
It doesn't get
that.
it perfect every time, but I find mostly it actually does work.
That's
I
really
also love
sick.
the pads. They're a good size for both drumming and melodic playing. They're velocity sensitive with polyphonic aftertouch, and you can customize the layout
pretty
by
sick.
scales, meaning in this small space you can have 4 octaves of notes that are all in key. It's a fantastic device. I think in many other years it could have been number one, but this year we just had some of...
I really got to agree 100%. The Move seems super duper cool. It's probably not made for me, honestly. It's probably not my vibe. You know, but it's very, very good. I love his sweater too, man. What a sweater. Been getting a lot of good sweaters on GearTube this year.
Other releases, like what I'm putting in slot number 2, the OPXY.
I want to see his take on this.
This has only been out for about a month, and I already know without a doubt it's my favorite thing Teenage Engineering has ever done. It's just a sequencing beast. You could think of it like an OPZ that has been improved in just about every way and put into an OP1 form factor. It's got a bunch of built-in synths and samplers and effects. Like Move, it's got a microphone, a line input, and resampling. Here you get 8 tracks to work with, but there are also additional tracks for controlling external gear and for sequencing different types of effects.
That's pretty sick. Pretty sick. And the punch-in effects are such a good idea. I am so mad that nobody has stolen this from Teenage Engineering yet. Well, actually, no, that's not true. They are on the circuit stuff has some punch-in effects type things that are very cool. And they fucking rock on the circuit tracks. I think the circuit rhythm might have them too. Or no, the circuit rhythm definitely has them. I think the circuit tracks might have them. Anyways, punch-in effects.
This is one of the best things it brings to the table. Like some of Teenage Engineering's other products, you get step components and punch-in effects, basically ways that you can sequence or live play effects that don't apply to your audio but to your MIDI. So they will skip notes, add notes, transpose notes, jump to a different step, just a huge amount of power and fun here. They also have this feature called Brain, where you could select any of your tracks to be intelligently transposed.
People seemed
Brain does a great job of detecting what key your tracks are in, and you can of course also set the key manually if you want. And then as you play the keys on the Brain track, your chosen instrument's notes will all move around, but they'll always all fit within your current key. It's a really interesting way to jam and come up with song sections on the fly, and of course you can play it live or sequence it.
Okay, wait, I guess that is a little bit. You can't really do that.
One other thing that is very rare across the board with music gear, the OPXY has micro-tuning. You can choose from a few different tuning systems, or you can define your own microtonal scales. There's so much more to it, but those are the big highlights for me. It really is such an inspiring tool. And in first place, I gotta put the Elektron Digitact 2.
All right. Wow, wait, pause. This is, I think, one of the only times I've seen somebody using like all 128, all 8 pages. I never see anybody actually using all 8 pages.
Built-in mic or speaker. It's not made to be portable, although you can run it off a good enough USB power bank if you have the right kind of cable. I use a MyVolts ripcord. It also doesn't have any synth engines. It's purely a sampler, although there are some ways you can get samples to behave like synths. But despite these shortcomings compared to the Move and the OPXY, it is definitely my favorite groovebox and sampler ever. The Elektron sequencers are famously very deep and powerful. You get 16 tracks, each of them has 3 modulation sources.
I always forget about that third
for sample
LFO.
slicing and stretching and playback. The original Digitact was already my favorite groovebox and sampler, and I would still put this ahead of the Move and the OPXY, even though it's been out for 7 years, just for the depth of its capabilities and for what it inspires me to create. So the Mark II is a no-brainer for first place this year. It's the same workflow, but almost every single feature has been improved. Let's go to Pedal Town.
I really, okay, like, you guys tell me, what? Dang it. Always with this, look at these people, eat our crappy food. Okay, you guys, I'm like not a huge pedal guy. But I will 100% agree that Digitact, slapper of a synth, slapper of a groove box, but I don't know. Okay, so let's see here. Pedals. A B pedal, a Spice Girls pedal. Pedal 2 is that that's the Chase Bliss one. First place pedal. the fuck is what is that? Okay, let's look see what it does.
And my number one pedal of the year is Game Changer Audio's Auto Chorus, which takes using your
these
playing
guys.
dynamics to the next level. It's actually more than just a chorus too, because you get ensemble and flanger modes. Not only can it track your volume as a controller, it can also track your pitch or your tone. And then you actually use patch cables to route each control signal to your desired
Game Changer is
parameter.
usually pretty good. I don't get what's going on though, other than like, okay, all right. I don't know. I'm not loving it. It's a chorus, whatever. Desktop effects.
Includes a
Ooh,
pink
the
noise
Laura
source
Mill.
that they're calling sand, and when you use this as the input signal, it can just get weird and fun. Check out some of these sounds I got just self-patching it.
This is the like sea glass thing or whatever, float glass.
Some quality bleep bloops. Some things that sound like drums, like I'm definitely gonna sample this. I'm probably gonna show just 30 seconds of sounds in this video, but I was playing with this just now for 12 straight minutes, just making these weird drums. Phaser drum. And then it's also just a phaser, you know, plug a guitar into it.
They've
My
made
number
now
two
a
desktop effect
handful
this
of
year is
cool.
the Time Plus from Bastel. This is one of the most fully featured delay units I've ever worked with. Where it really gets wild though
Hell
is with
yeah.
this thing they
Hell yeah,
call
baby.
robots, which is basically just modulation. So you can have all these parameters with their own custom modulation, and then you can save those sets of modulations as presets, and then you can sequence through the presets. Just a super performable delay. I really feel like they designed this to mangle sounds. Like you can use it as different flavors of echo, but it's so good at just absolutely transforming whatever you throw at it in the most fun way.
Ass ID. This has been one of my favoriteest features with the Time Plus, has been able to just like fucking slow everything down real quick and then just like.
When you set really tight delay times, you can get into Karplus strong territory, so using those delay repeats as an oscillator, and it will track pitch if you sequence it from MIDI or something external. So yeah, it just gets absolutely wild. And as a reminder, this is where we came from. And now, my number one favorite desktop effect this year. This is a really special one, and I feel like barely anybody's heard about it. The Field Tone Weaver. This is in sort of a pedal enclosure,
That's a
but
pedal.
I wouldn't call it a pedal because there's nothing on it to step on. Along the top side, there's an input and it accepts clock, and then on the bottom, there's a knob, which is the volume. And then this nice big knob is where all the action happens. So you can see it's labeled here reset, so it just clears the buffer. At this point, it starts recording. And then as you move it through all these different points, it just rearranges little pieces of your recording, applies some effects, and it does so completely at random. I mean, there's some curation into how it transforms sounds, but it's just this wonderful rhythm and texture maker. So you can plug something into the 1/8 inch jack on the top, or you can just literally, because it also has a built-in mic.
Okay, that's cute. How much is this though? This seems really cute, but like. This has been my thing this year, is that I've been noticing is like there have been a lot of things that I'm like, oh, that's cool, that's cute. I would pay $200 tops for that. And then I'll be like, what is it? And like somebody will be like, oh yeah, so this is $597. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Sorry. All right. All right, Patrick.
Time I move the dial,
watch.
it's re-randomizing stuff. It's not like there are certain presets and at noon it always does the exact same thing to your sample. It just keeps changing and there's no way to go back. Also, right now I'm on rhythm mode, but there's also a texture mode.
More like. That's kind of
And
cool.
remember, it's just transforming a few claps. Like, imagine what it would do to some guitar playing or some synths, some voice. Hey, what's up? What can you do to a voice?
Okay, plug some clock in. I'll clock it.
And so, you know, it's nothing that you can't do
wanna
yourself
see him
with
clock
just
it.
chopping up audio. I think it's applying delay sometimes, it sounds like, pitch shifting, but it's just a happy accident machine, makes all this stuff really fast and fun. It has some parallels to a free Max patch that I dropped earlier this year called Vertices. I'll link that in the description. I had a similar idea where I wanted to be able to just drop in any file into this weird sampler and have it create sequences out of it. Check that out. You know, I know gear is not accessible, affordable for everybody, and you can get a lot of the same kind of stuff that Weaver does. Obviously, though, it's a little more magical when it's in a pink box with a giant knob, so worth the price for me.
I can't argue. I'm gonna check this out. This looks cool, but like I want to see somebody clocking it and like maybe getting wacky. Because if it can be clocked, I want to see it clocked. 225 Great British Pounds. So that's, I don't know, what is 225 GBP to USD? I'm a USD boy. Okay, so I guess that is closer to like, well, probably $300 after the import. Which is, you know, I mean, not cheap, but I want to see this thing. Gosh darn clocked. Field tone Weaver, because like this, I mean, it could be like a, oops, somebody putting a Buchla easel into it. Okay, yeah. I want to see.
The guitar is an instrument with 6 strings on it. If it got 6 strings on it, I can play it. I couldn't figure out
What the fuck? Is this like, this has got to be like a famous guy,
this was
right?
Johnny Smith.
Okay. I'm just like, that was like a really weird commercial. Okay, this is kind of cool. But is it constantly recording or? Oopsie. There is no undo switch. Sample time is fixed at 2 seconds. Every time you move the knob. Okay. I mean, yeah, this is pretty cool. Whatever this person is doing sounds very nice. Oh, so nice, so soothing. Okay, let's see what else Andrew's got for us. Eurorack. I've kind of fallen off the Eurorack train, to be honest. Like the Eurorack at large.
Eurorack, there are always so many modules coming out. I've
'Cause
probably
that's
missed
why.
something, and also I couldn't just narrow it down to a top 3, so I'm gonna do a top 6. But I'm tying 3 slots,
much
2
Eurorack.
modules.
Oh my god, this is so much
Shackman's
Eurorack,
Archer's
dude.
Rig is the best hi-hat module I've ever used. You get a lot of different noise sources for your hi-hat synthesis. Obviously, you can tune them.
Okay. Love it.
Individually,
What do we
adjust
got
the
here?
volume of each one, and there are 8 slots where you can store snapshots of your filter and volume settings. Then you can clock it and sequence through those snapshots.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually
But then
think
you can
that
also
I
save
know this
banks
patching
of these presets of 8 snapshots, so you can like choose different sequences of different
What is
snapshots.
this thing on him?
You can additionally modulate all of the different filters.
Cool. All right, what do we got here?
Let's look at DivKit and Making Sound Machines DivSkip. This is a real powerhouse. You get 4 identical channels. Each one takes a rhythmic input and gives you 2 related rhythmic outputs. So I could use this knob or control voltage here to choose the probability that the incoming trigger would come out through output A or B for this channel. So as I turn it up, we get about 50% probability of it going to A or B down here, or I could go all the way to B, be mostly B, you get it. Or I could hold this down for 2 seconds and then change the mode and get a Euclidean rhythm generator. Or it can be a clock divider, a random rhythm generator,
That's pretty sick. That's pretty cool.
Lots of really useful rhythmic stuff. You can also set it to either output triggers or to flip-flop between high and low gates. And there's a really handy mute group feature.
This is pretty sick.
Channel to mute it, and
this is pretty cool.
Switch between 2 groupings of different mutes.
That is some really cool functionality.
Useful. Love the visual feedback. There's so many possibilities
that's very sick.
in just 8 HP, and of course,
that's really cool.
Fun to self-patch. Stardust from Qubit is the tape-style looping module I've been waiting for. It's not the first one in Eurorack.
I'm sorry, Qubit. I love you guys, but another effects module. I'm sure it's really sick.
Number 1 favorite Eurorack modules of 2024.
Number 1 favorite Eurorack module.
Between Bafaco's Oniroi and Moog's Labyrinth. Now, Labyrinth I did a whole video on, so I won't go into as much detail here, but it's basically 2 generative sequencers controlling 2 oscillators, a noise source, 2 envelopes, and a filter and a wave folder. An amazing combination of stuff with super smart normalizations. This module inspired a large chunk of my favorite EP I put out this year. It's called Labyrinth. It's a collaboration with Angele.
This is wild that they made an album together.
You just generate such cool stuff so fast on it. You can get to really different sonic territory really quickly. It's really fun. It's my favorite Moog module. It's one of my favorite Moog synths. I got a lot of flack when the video dropped and I called it their best release in years. But I mean, in the past.
This is what I'm saying. Their best was like, okay, did he really get roasted for saying that? Their best release in year? Yeah, what does Moog put out? I mean, they just put out the Muse. I think they put this out before they put the Muse out. But like, am I missing something? Like, the Matriarch and the Grandmother were ages ago at this point. What have they put out since then? The Subharmonicon? Sorry if you're a Subharmonicon truther. But what is Moog, dude? Yeah, seriously, it's probably one of the coolest things they put out. Synthesizer. I must be forgetting like 9 or 10 things, right? Moog's been dropping shit. I'm not going crazy, right? Yeah, the Muse, the Labyrinth, the Spectravox, which was kind of cool. A remake. The Theremin, the Mavis was cool, but like, this is just the Mavis. Yeah, 100%. That's the coolest thing they've dropped in years since the Matriarch, probably. And the Matriarch came out in like 2019 or something. So, look, there's. Wait, what did I just saw Max Ravitz, Patricia. We've been listening to that's who that song's by. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that they yelled at you, Andrew. Look at this face. He's so upset. That's just a funny face. Okay, anyways.
Years they put out Mavis, Spectravox, some software.
Man, I just went through the whole thing and paused it right before he told me all of the things that they put out. But yeah,
Matriarch is better than the Labyrinth. That's already 5 years back. So,
wow. That's hilarious. Okay, that's funny. We had the exact same take.
Tell you, Labyrinth is awesome. Labyrinth rules. Next, let's look at Bafako Oniroi. Don't know if I'm saying that. It's like a Greek character, I think. Maybe a god? Maybe just a guy.
One Eroy.
This module is such a beast. It's very
This is
unique.
this
It's
is I
kinda
think
billed
I think
as
they
a
build this thing as like an
drone
ambient
noise machine, but there's just so many different interesting components to it that you could use in lots of ways. So roughly it breaks down into 4 sound elements and 4 effects. There is a looper, which can either record your external input or resample the output
This
of the
seems like
module
he goes
itself.
pretty
That's
deep into
ridiculous
this.
on its own. Or reverb. Eurorack synths to really designed as a single
Synthesizers.
self-contained system. It's got a lot to it.
The Taiga. I
think we're just a
was
little bit
kind of
overdue
unimpressed
for a
by
tour
that.
of my studio.
I know a lot of
First up is
people
my
really were
desk.
into
This
it,
is created by DeFi, and
but I
There's a
was
touch
just
controller that can act as either
kind of not really impressed by that thing. Synthesizers. Okay. We're gonna watch these. Man, it is 11 o'clock. We're so close to the new year, you guys. I feel like I'm getting so tired, but I feel like if I bailed out now at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time before the new year, that I'd feel like such a failure. I'd be like, oh no, what a loser. I could have made it. Okay, whatever. We'll just keep on rocking. Keep on rocking in the free
My number
world.
2 synth of the year is Arturia's
I wanna hear what he
Polybrute
has to say about
12.
this,
I
too.
feel like this is one of the best players synths ever. Like if you really know your way around the keys and love synths, this is a really expressive instrument. They introduced their own type of keyboard, the full touch keyboard, which has different settings, but basically you can have the travel portion of the key modulate something different than the aftertouch portion of the key. So the level of expression just opens up. Like listen to this cheesy 80s stab. But if I play the exact same patch really gently, it can be this ambient thing.
I played with the original Polybrute, and it was so sick.
And then in addition to your classic pitch bend and mod wheel, you've
This
got
thing
a
is
ribbon
worth it.
controller.
Oh, not the ribbon controller, the Expressive E thing. But that's cool because you can use that as like a second keyboard. See?
And their Morphe
This
touch
is-
controller.
this
so
is sick.
detects where your finger is positioned, and you can apply pressure to it. And then, of course, the synth itself sounds beautiful. It's got a huge range. There's a lot of built-in effects, which I always really appreciate. And then there's also an
Polybrute looking
arpeggiator, a
sick.
sequencer, and a really deep modulation matrix.
Mod matrix
I think this one is
sick.
going to go down as a classic, and I'm also going to say
Arturia
that
killing
about
it.
my number 1 favorite synth of this year, which is the Moog Muse.
I've seen like nothing about this.
So both of these are fantastic synths, and the biggest way that I would differentiate between them is what I said about the Polybrute being more of a player's synth. The Muse definitely, I mean, you can play it. It's a synth with keys, but I think it's extra geared towards the synth programmer type nerds like myself. It's got much cooler features in terms of things like chant sequencing, more interesting ways to input sequences, more interesting arpeggiation options. It does have way
Moog,
fewer
you're coming
effects
at
than
the
Polybrute and
sequencers,
fewer
huh?
voices than the Polybrute, but for me, I just love its ridiculous sequencer. So yeah, it's number 1 for me. Both these synths are amazing though. You can't go wrong with either. I just personally really get lost in programming the Muse and just coming up with stuff that I wouldn't on any other device. I'm gonna end off with 2 honorable mentions. I didn't have a microphone or a MIDI controller category because, let's be honest, they're usually just kind of boring. But we actually had some
Wow.
big innovations this year, so
Wow.
this is the Lewitt Ray. Nice sounding
I
microphone.
don't like
You include
microphones
their
either. What does he say for MIDI controllers though?
distance Ray. Access detect your hands in front of it. And
Oh,
then
this
anything
weird
that can
thing.
be assigned by MIDI, you can control by waving your hands or rotating your wrists.
This weird
I've tried
ass
a lot
thing,
of
dude.
different
Very
technologies
strange.
like this
Very
over the years, you know,
strange.
ones that
Okay, so lot of good takes from Andrew. We like this video already. I think I saw that and I liked it, and then I just like kind of skipped through it, but I didn't give it a full watch until just now. Big fan of Andrew. I really think he's one of like the. Oh, what did I do? No, damn it! Don't allow. Damn. I think he's one of the. He's really crystallized this format. He's the guy who does all like he's the guy to beat, not the guy to beat, but like, you know, the guy who sets the bar is what I'm looking for. I am getting tired. So let's get a little kooky here. Let's just, you know, as long as I'm getting tired, might as well watch Florian clown on the Octatrack. And more importantly,
the sun is free. Dinosaurs and then sending that
eating dinosaurs. What is this shit? This is what I'm talking about. It's like this ad was written by AI. Fucking shut up. I want to see how he jams. How are you gonna do it?
Welcome
are you gonna get my like or my
Gear,
dislike,
the show about
Florian?
the world's most hated audio tools. Merry Christmas!
At the first glance, Octatrack is ticking all the second most anticipated Bad Gear protagonist of all time boxes. A groove box coelocant barely upgraded since 2011 with iconic USPs like sticky buttons, a crossfader, connectivity for grown-ups, and a workflow so complex it is either considered a rite of passage for Berlin-based techno
Dislikes penguin chocolate biscuits?
users, or some twisted form of Swedish sadism. The eponymous 8 tracks can be populated with live loopers, and classic Elektron sequencing engines, triggering stereo sample playback. They can be used for mixing and real-time processing of external audio, and overall Ableton 8 in a box for partial physicists' duties like beat matching, time stretching, and sample slicing. There's another 8 tracks for controlling external devices polyphonically via MIDI, while basic beat creation is possible with a few years of Digitakt experience and 2 hours filled with juicy Austrian swear words. All reasons to choose this ancient artifact over more approachable Elektron products are locked away behind countless convoluted menus and combinations that require to get
He does
good.
shit
But
so
first
fast.
things first.
How to master an Octatrack in rhyme. To master an Octatrack in time, here's a simple guide that'll rhyme. Start with the basics, don't be shy. Sequencer and samples, give them a try. Learn the tracks, 8 to be exact, each one with its own unique act. Yo, ChatGPT cooking this rhyme here, wow. Full circle in this stream. Full circle, baby. Play with the faders. Make a sound. There's only one fader. Experiment. Don't be afraid to go around. Record some I might have spoke too soon. Record some patterns. Loop them tight. Make your beats sound full of might. Modify the effects. Take it slow. Find the sound that makes you glow. Layer samples. Add some melody. Make your creation sound heavenly. Play live, tweak knobs on the fly, show the world what you can supply. With practice and patience, you'll reach the top. Making music with the Octatrack won't stop. Enjoy the journey, let your creativity shine, and soon you'll be a master in no time. This ChatGPT just Dr. Seuss that fucking.
Samples are stored on compact flash cards, the digital equivalent to cuneiform tablets, and can either be loaded into RAM when using a Flex engine or directly streamed from disk in static mode. The latter is preferable for longer samples, but you must not modulate their sample start point. The audio pool of your set can hold up to 128 of each, with Flex samples also limited by the little over 80 megs of RAM. Don't don't forget to turn off time stretching
Still
in
more
the
than a
audio
friggin'
editor if
digijacked.
you don't need it. Every track comes with an envelope and 3 LFOs with freely editable waveforms.
Yo, real talk. Why can't we have the LFO designer from the Octatrack on anything else?
2 FX slots per track. The multimode filter can be modulated using a simple envelope, but you can't use reverb and delay at the same time. Bummer. The FX algorithms spread the charm of the 2000s. Sampling is not exactly intuitive, with so-called pickup machines specialized in the aforementioned looping functionality. Other track modes are through for routing external sources, you guessed it, through the machine, and neighbor for daisy chaining tracks. If you need more than 2 FX engines for a sound, you will have to sacrifice number 8 in case you need master bus processing. Sequencing is powerful with quite a few specialized features. It is limited to 64 steps and doesn't seem as streamlined as a more recent Elektron gear. Parameter and sample locks, macro timing, ratchets, achromatic mode, polymeters, slides allow for gradual parameter changes, and I'm sure you will let me know in the comments that I forgot about your favorite sequencing feature. Speaking of, there is an additional layer in the Octatrack structure called parts that lets you implement different parameter settings regardless of the chosen pattern, which, my life, contains up to 16 scenes assignable to the crossfader.
Which is super duper underrated. I feel like I always forget about that, and then I feel like once I'm reminded, I'm like, damn, dude, I gotta get an Octatrack again, because having all of those parts
to make
is
that whole
ridiculous.
smorgasbord of madness somewhat manageable after a few cold ones.
So many parts.
However, inebriated use of the hyper-complex arpeggiator
The arpeggiator is so cool, though.
might lead
It's so
to
fun.
conflicts with your significant other, and my New Year's resolution is to keep avoiding song modes like the plague. This Nightmare
It's not
Before
fun.
Christmas is still available for around 1.5k. It is, cosmetics aside, mostly identical to the first incarnation of Octa. Overbridge will probably never be supported, and I'm going to discuss
can't.
all the
It can't
features
be.
not mentioned today in a 12 hours TED Talk. Thanks to Asife for making this possible by lending me his MK2.
Octatrack had a profound impact on hardware-based music production and introduced many features that are now considered to be the industry standard. Is it still the ultimate DAW-less challenge?
Oh, what the fuck? Man, I am getting the worst ads today, too. Not even...
You have already heard Octatrack in today's intro tune. Yes, I managed to punch it in there somehow, but delivering a professional mix on the Octa is beyond my skills. I wanna know if I can get a classic Bad Gear Jam 1 going without taking up smoking again.
Man, he's done way better. I know you can do better, Florian. This is hot. This is hot, but you can do so much better. I was hoping on some crazy shit on the Octatrack. Hit me with some scene changes. What are you doing? You gonna hammer on that crossfader? Okay.
I was expecting worse. Sure, I only tried to replicate the Digitakt workflow, and some aspects of the instrument structure seem to make little to no sense, but the crossfader is fun and the built-in FX are really nice. Time to load up a few loops and use Octatrack as a true DAW-less centerpiece.
Notice how he's not mixing in the Octa?
With around 2 weeks between these two jams, times I had to start all over again, so the critics might have a point when it comes to the instrument's learning curve. Implementation of loops and time stretching works great, but I'm not sure I will ever be able to fully grasp parts and file management. There has been some controversy about the overall sound quality of Octatrack's engine. Let's push that thing to its utter limits, and that's how you actually
it
party
sounds
in Europe,
better than the
completely
Digitakt.
Christmas decoration free, 140 BPM, peak time dance floor ferocity.
Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah, buddy. Here we go. These freaky videos. Dude, I don't like this video with these like weird German people, but I like this vibe.
Verdict.
Fucking
Track is
dude,
an iconic.
I don't know what it was about that sequence of clips, but it was that dude? Am I seeing AI ghost now? There was something freaky about that sequence of what is so weird about. Oh, it's unsettling. Watch it again. It's unsettling. Ugh. There's something about it. Maybe it's the like 30 frames per second slowed down to 24 effect.
Verdict. Octatrack is an iconic
dude's eyes
machine
openings.
for
What
a
the
reason,
fuck,
be
dude?
it for its rejuvenating effect on hardware-based sequencing and sampling in general, or the countless memes about how mind-bogglingly hard it is to use. I honestly found it challenging to get to the bottom of this deep and complex instrument, not only because it can do so much in often mysterious ways, but also because the underlying technology and UI stem from a time when the Elektron way was far less advanced than it is now. Using Octatrack for a little while turned out to be an educating experience and helped me to understand tools I use on a daily basis a lot better, but I'll probably save my money for whatever this is. Thanks for watching, Merry Christmas, and see you next time. Hey
You guys, I don't
please save my money for what?
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't think this is I've said this before. I don't think that Toneverk is whatever the fuck this is, how it looks in this manner. I don't think that this is real. Like, I think that this was like a platform that they were like experimenting. Like, essentially I think that this is like a beta platform type of thing that they were playing around with. And I don't think that they meant to I don't think that this meant to get out in the wild. It's too silly. There are too many aspects of it that are just poorly designed. And if it is indeed real, there are many aspects of it that just seem not great. So we'll see. We shall see. It is 11:20. I am so ridiculously tired. So tired, so sleepy. I think this is one of the longest streams I've ever done. 3 hours, 20 minutes. Oh baby, let's take a look at Tom Cosm's thing here, because I do want to set the record straight.
I'm getting back on track with Factor. Fresh, never.
So this is this telepathic instruments, this orchid. This I haven't watched this video yet, because the only thing that I saw that made me really interested in this was the fact that Tom Cosm. Now I don't know. He might not be as well known, but when I was learning Ableton, Tom Cosm, no, he's still got a fat YouTube channel. And does he still have his website where he does his thing? He was one of the first people to make like a full, maybe his website's not doing the thing it is, but he had like a full-on, maybe he's just doing it through Patreon or something. He had a full-on like series of courses on how to get to Ableton stuff and like do Ableton stuff. He taught production. He was like one of the first Ableton certified trainers who was just an absolute banger of a person. And so like I heard this was like the Flume guy or not Flume, Tame Impala or whatever. It was like, oh yeah, he made this thing, and then I was like, I don't care about that Tame Impala guy. But then I was hearing that it's actually Tom Cosm is the technical director and the co-founder of Telepathic Instruments. Piqued my interest again, so let's check it out.
I'm really excited to bring you this video. This is sort of an accumulation of the last 3 videos I made during my AMA, but they were unlisted, and I don't think many people saw them. So it's going to be me having fun, having a jam. Really excited to show you what I like about Orchid. Let's say the top 3 things that Tom likes about Orchid. Maybe we'll do 4, I don't know, we'll see how we go. As you can tell, this is still a sample unit. We're actively working on this so hard at the moment, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hour days, trying to get things perfect. Just to show you we got velocity. And this is something that's been working on right now. We're getting it scaled right, we're getting the curves right, and this is the sort of stuff we really want to encourage people to join the garden, get involved, tell us what you think. Do you want your own curves? Do you think we need more curves in the velocity? All of these things are going to make this a marvelous, amazing unit.
You see that? You see? And that's why I like Tom Cosm right off the bat. He's just a fucking good dude. And you can see that he's interested, and this is what I'm talking about. He's interested in making a product that people will want to use, and he's interested in, and like I know very little about this instrument. I know very little about what's going on here, but I have watched hundreds of hours of Tom Cosm teaching Ableton and production, and I know that what he wants to do is give you what you want. He wants to enable you to get where you want to go. And this is what I'm talking about. He's making gear. He's fucking like, hey, tell me what you want. Tell me what's important to you. Tell me what's cool. What should we look at? And I think that's really cool. I think that more companies should do this type of thing. And this is the thing that I'm disappointed in when I don't see from companies that I really like.
It is, but we want it to be the best. All right.
We want it to be the best.
So as you know, left hand chooses the chords, right hand plays the notes. Let's bring the voicing up. Bring the reverb down for this one. Turn off the arpeggiator. Let's bring some bass in.
How is this sound engine working?
I actually quite like it when the reverb is up when you do those kind of voicing changes.
Oh, this is kind of interesting from an ergonomic. I see, because he's got the 2 knobs. He's playing it like, oh, that's pretty interesting.
Lovely. So last time I talked about key mode, and I think I went through it a little bit too quickly. So as I said, left hand for chords, right hand for notes, but we can go into key mode and fix it to a specific key. Now last time I used C, but let's use something a little different. Let's go for E flat minor. Now what that means is you'll see that, now let's do E flat minor, not E minor. And you'll see that we do actually have little indications on our keyboard here of what notes are going to be played. This means they harmonically snap to those notes. So everything that we play in the keyboard here, we don't need to use the left hand. We can, but I'm not going to. We can just use the right hand to hit chords which only use note that are in E flat minor. We can override this, but we can go back.
I don't know, this seems pretty cool. Is it gonna output this MIDI?
And while in key mode, I really like to use performance mode. So we've got strum, we've got slop, arpeggiate. Harp we haven't really experimented with yet. This is still being worked on, by the way, so this is something we'd like your feedback on. This goes up the whole octave range, and it's quite intense at the moment. It's like the opening sequence to something. I'll bring the reverb down for that one and bring it right down.
That's pretty cool to me.
Cool. What else we got here?
I feel like he's just gonna keep on talking about this thing, and I am like 100% crashing out. So I think I gotta go to bed, you guys. I think it's 30 minutes before midnight, but I feel like if I just sit here and I'm like sad and tired, that it's good for nobody. It's good for nobody. So Happy New Year's, everybody. I know there's a few things we didn't get to. Yeah, I hope everybody has a safe rest of their night. I hope you all have a wonderful. Check out the Nopia. Oh yeah, I will. Oh, I've seen that thing. It looks so cool. They've been cooking that for a while too. But everybody, thanks for hanging out with me. We're so close to the new year, and you know what? It's a beautiful new year. It's 2025. We're gonna make it happen. Oh. But anyways, you're all winners in my book. No, none of you are losers, and yeah, that's all I got. It's been a wild year. I really hope that it's another wild year next year. So yeah, I'm so tired. I'm going to bed, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Wait, let's see if I have any jams. Oh no, I can't play that one. No, I can't play that one. No, I can't play that one. Nope. No jams. All right, everybody. See you later.